You've just realised your business needed to hire someone yesterday. So how can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Listeners to this show can get a £100 sponsored job credit to give your jobs more visibility. Just go to Indeed.com/Octave and tell us that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Speed up your recruitment at Indeed.com/Octave. If you're hiring, Indeed is all you need. T's and C's apply.
With AI, if you can think it, you can make it. But so can cybercriminals. Norton VPN Ultimate helps protect you and your family. Combining advanced online privacy protection with AI-powered scam detection so you can live your best digital life. Today's online privacy threats have met their match. Search Norton VPN Ultimate for a fast and reliable VPN that keeps you safer online.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast.
With Lucas Volvo. The full electric range is now available on Motability.
It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard on a huge weekend of Scottish football. The Saturday card in the sunshine will not disappoint. Motherwell, St Mirren, Kilmarnockv, Hibs, St Johnstone, Aberdeen and Hearts against Ross County. Of course, it's only Saturday, which means memories of seeing off Jose Mourinho and getting through in the Europa League are still fresh for Rangers fans. But it's all attention then turning to the east end of Glasgow tomorrow lunchtime for Celtic against Rangers. Barry Ferguson's first in charge. Celtic trying to go 19 points clear, and the away fans are back as well. What more could you want from your weekend? I'm Gordon Duncan, and joining me you have Ross McCormack, Gordon Dalziel and Roger Hannah.
Well, Barry Ferguson got the better of Jose Mourinho on Thursday. Can he get the better of Brendan Rodgers tomorrow and give Rangers a first win at Celtic Park in 5 years? Or does Celtic avenge the New Year derby defeat, go 19 points clear and move within 2 wins of 4 in a row? We also have a Dundee derby at Tannadice tomorrow, Gordon. By that stage, the Dark Blues could be bottom of the Premiership if St Johnstone get a decent win over Aberdeen in Perth today. We've got the two talented teens that Steve Clarke brought into the Scotland squad. We'll see Lennon Miller and Motherwell against St Mirren. We'll see James Wilson and Hearts against Ross County. And maybe the most intriguing of them all, third bottom Killie against third top Hibs at Rugby Park, both in need of points. And that's before we even look at the Mushroom against Brunei along the road at Firhill. Quite the weekend.
Big games ahead. Big games. We're now at that part of the season going where every point is valuable, whether it's, you know, for the top six or relegation, playoffs, whatever it may be. You look into that championship, a lot of good games, 2 derbies tomorrow. And I'd just like to say, in all my years, Wilson and Keevans have certainly let themselves go.
I was going to say, Ross McCormack, you've been called many things over the years, but that's the Hugh Keevans seat that you're in. Big cardigan to fill on a Saturday afternoon.
Extra special. I'll be honest, I didn't want to sit here, but Roger said you can sit where you want, so I thought, yeah, I'll sit in the great man's chair. But
looking forward to today.
What a weekend of football you got. I think the top 6 is heating up. I think it's going to be 1 from 4, I think. So it's a big day with them playing each other. Motherwell looking to consolidate their place in the top 6, and then obviously you've got the big one tomorrow, not forgetting the Dundee derby. So it's a huge weekend in Scotland.
Yes, plenty to look forward to. We're about to take a breather for the international break as well, so let's enjoy it, let's savour it, soak it all in, because there are big stories everywhere you look. This afternoon, as Ross McCormack quite rightly says, we can use the phrase 6-pointer quite freely at this time of the season, and that certainly applies with the race for the top 6 between Motherwell and St Mirren. Great games this afternoon. Of course, one of the biggest, the showpiece game in the Scottish Premiership for many, taking place at Celtic Park tomorrow. So we'll do plenty of build-up to that one as the afternoon progresses. Don't forget, you can stay in touch all day on Twitter at ClydeSSB, and then, as we always do on a Saturday, I'll give you the nod later on and you can get in touch with your thoughts on the phone lines. And of course, Thursday night, it only was a couple of days ago. In fact, it was closer than Gordon Dalziel would have liked, because it ran right on until about 11 o'clock, so that will still be fresh in the memory, so we can take a look back there and assess what it means for Rangers, what their chances are against Athletic Bilbao, what it all means for Barry Ferguson and so on. So strap yourselves in, it's sun is shining out there. Let's enjoy the football together, starting with Fir Park for Motherwell against St Mirren. Here is Fraser Wishart.
As you say, Gordon, sun shining at Fir Park. Lennon Miller will be wanting to put on a show, called into the Scotland squad, and as you guys were talking about in the studio as well, every point absolutely vital at this time of the season. At the beginning of the season, I think the main target for these two clubs, of course staying in the league, but also to finish in the top six, and St Mirren are looking to do so for the third time in a row, and Motherwell of course consistently at the top end of the table for many years. And so with 4 games to go, important game for both these clubs still in the running for that top 6 place. Probably more for St Mirren, who will be 6 points behind Motherwell with 3 games to go if they lose. And with these two, Ross County, Hearts and maybe Kilmarnock, depending on how results go today, all lining up that 6th place. Focusing on your own team is vital for all the teams involved. Maybe even Dundee United and Aberdeen might get dragged into the fight depending on how things go over this weekend. But both sides had no game last week. They had cup exits, and it might have been a welcome for both teams, particularly for Motherwell, chance to get a rest, get some injured players fit, and for the new manager Michael Wimmer to get time on the training ground with these players. They had big wins against Dundee, and of course Ibrox last time out and won their last 2, but that was after 6 defeats in a row. But they should have been full of confidence after winning at Ibrox. But St Mirren, they also had a good performance against Celtic, and although they lost in the end, they played really well and they were competing with Celtic. If it hadn't been for a poor decision by the referee in VAR to deny them a Stonewall penalty, they might have got something from that game. So Stephen Robinson has the players that suit this type of game: strong, athletic, pace on the break. I think they'll fancy their chances here today, but maybe not losing is the priority, though, as they have probably more favourable fixtures than Motherwell and 1 or 2 others around them before the split. So really interesting 90 minutes ahead, looking forward to it, hoping for some goals. Team news for Motherwell: they made 2 changes. Stephen O'Donnell's back from injury and Luke Plange makes his first start. Dan Casey drops to the bench and Luke Armstrong's out injured, so they go with the 3-4-2-1 formation. Ellery Balcom in goals, Stephen O'Donnell, Liam Gordon and Dan Casey at the back, Tom Sparrow, Kai Andrews, Andy Halliday and Dominic Thompson across the middle, with Lennon Miller and Callum Slattery behind Luke Plange up front. The subs for Motherwell: Aston Oxborough, Kofi Balmer, Davor Dravkovsky, Harry Payton, Johnny Kutrumbis, Ewan Wilson, Moses Ibiye, Tony Watt and Will Dixon. And also 2 changes for St Mirren. We know Michael Mandron is out injured, but Richard Taylor drops to the bench. In Kamayunga for Mandron, and Yakaviti replaces Taylor at the back. 3-5-2 for them: Zach Hemming in goals, Marcus Fraser, Alec Gogic and Alex Yakaviti at the back, Ryan Alibiosu, Kieran Phillips, Colin Boyd Munns, Mark O'Hara and Declan John in the middle, with Toyose Olasanya and Jonah Ayunga as the strikers. Peter Urminski, Scott Tanzer, Richard Taylor, Oisin Smith, Greg Kiltie, Roland Idowu, James Scott, Owen Oseni and Elvis Bomono are the substitutes for St Mirren. The referee today at Fir Park is Grant Irvin, and in VAR duties Greg Aitken.
It's nothing new really, I suppose, Fraser, the spotlight being on Lennon Miller, but does it just intensify a bit once you get a call up to the Scotland squad? People then start looking at him and his performances through that lens. First and foremost, quite simply, everyone hoping he stays fit today and comes through the game and is able to drop into the Scotland setup tomorrow evening or whenever it is. But it just feels like there'll be an extra attention on him now.
Yeah, I think there will be. I saw Michael Wimmer during the week talking about he knew about Lennon Miller before he came here, because he was linked in the media in Germany with Eintracht Frankfurt. So I think Lennon's had to cope with this for the last couple of years. And when you speak to him, he's a very well-rounded character. He's a calm personality. I think he's coping with everything really, really well. A lot of it goes down to his dad. He's a similar character. He's been through it as a professional footballer as well. So I don't think anything phases this young lad. And I think he'll just go on with his game. He's playing slightly further forward than I've seen him recently. He's been a wee bit deeper, and he can influence the game by just playing as one of those 2 10s behind the main striker. So I don't think anything will change from Lennon Miller. Of course, we'll all be looking at it, hoping that he stays fit, because it's a great honour for him to be in the Scotland squad, and he might just get a run over these next 2 games. But no, he's a cool character, Lennon Miller. I don't think anything phases this lad.
I'm not sure we need to go for a full "is the split a good thing" debate that we often do in Scottish football, Fraser, but it is this type of fixture that does sort of back up the split as being quite a good competitive piece of innovation that we've got here in Scotland. I know it's not without its faults, but like we said, when you look at the gap between the teams today, and Motherwell in 6th and St Mirren trying to get there and so on, it does add something today.
Yeah, it does. I mean, this year's unusual, Gordon. I think if you look from 3rd down to about 10th, it's very, very tight, and it's unusual that it's as tight as that in most years. So I am a fan of the split. I think it brings competitiveness for the whole season. When you've got a league where usually 2 teams, and in recent years 1 team, Celtic, have been way ahead of everybody else, then it's difficult to keep things alive if the third and fourth place is gone as well. So I like it, because after the split as well, even like St Johnstone, who are bottom of the table, they're playing against the bottom five, so they've got a chance of winning games and staying up as well. So I'm a big fan. But yes, you're right, this game between two teams who are in that running for the top six is really, really important. And just looking at St Mirren's fixtures, I think if they don't lose today, they'll be quite happy, because I think they've got Kilmarnock, Ross County and Dundee coming up as well, so they'll fancy their chances in those next 3 games.
Plenty to look forward to then at Fir Park. We'll go back to Fraser Wishart and continue the build up to that one. What about the capital? Because Hearts are another of those teams trying to get into the top 6, and tucked in just behind them, today's opponents, Ross County. Gabriel is the man.
Yeah, Gordon, good afternoon from Edinburgh West. Spring has arrived in the capital. The sun is beaming down in the main stand here at Tynecastle. Got no jacket on for the first time this year. What a start to the day. And what a week it's been for a certain man, or should I say boy, here at Hearts. James Wilson has also been called up to the Scotland squad for next week's matches after scoring 6 times so far this season. 2 of them coming against today's opposition, Ross County, back in December. The teenager is back in the starting lineup today as well. It doesn't get much better than that for the 18-year-old. And Hearts boss Neil Critchley said it was incredible that the Jambos have both the youngest and the oldest player in Steve Clarke's squad, with Craig Gordon also included, but no place for club captain Lawrence Shankland. All 3 of those are involved from the start today. So Wilson is the only change to the team that beat Dundee in the Cup last weekend. He comes in for Kenneth Vargas, who drops to the bench. Looks like a 4-3-3 formation for Hearts. Craig Gordon in goal. Got Adam Forrester, Lewis Nielsen, Michael Steinbender and James Penrice at the back. Sander Carton, Benny Beningame and Blair Spittle in the middle. Lawrence Shankland, James Wilson and Elton Kabungu up top. Substitutes: Clark, Grant, Neuvenhoff, Forrest, Milne, Dander, Musa, Vargas and Taylor. But it's not all about Hearts today. Ross County, as you say, just tucked in behind them in the league. Remember their shocking away run in the top flight? Winless in over 18 months it was. Well, they've won 4 of their last 6 on the road. Don Cowie really started to turn it around here, and he's made 2 changes to the side that beat Kilmarnock 2 weeks ago. Ashworth and White drop to the bench. In come Harmon and Kenner. Looks like it'll be a 3-5-2 formation. So you've got Jordan Amisa in goal. A back 3 of Jonathan Tompkinson, Casper Lapota and Ellie Campbell. Akil Wright and George Harmon will be the wing-backs, with Conor Randall, Josh Nisbet and Noah Kennett in the middle. Noah Chilvers will play just off Kieran Phillips up top. The substitutes: Laidlaw, Hale, Greaves, Ashworth, Samuel, White, Smith, McLeod and Robiston. Now, for all the talk from Fraser about Fir Park being the place to watch for the top 6 race today, perhaps it's here you should be looking. At the start of the season, you'd say that one of these teams would be right up there pushing the Old Firm and the other would be down at the bottom fighting relegation. Both of these teams made such poor starts to the campaign, but they've turned it around, and as you say, they're 7th and 8th, though just outside of the top half. And with just 4 games left, including today, before the split, things are as tight as ever in the middle of the table, and it feels like 3 points could be seismic for either of these teams. The referee will be Callum Scott, and the VAR, Don Robertson.
Another one to look forward to. A few different priorities perhaps then for the 2 sides that go head to head in McDermott Park. St Johnstone very much at the bottom, Aberdeen with loftier ambitions. David Friel is there.
Yeah, Gordon, I'm just hoping the entertainment on the pitch is going to match entertainment off the pitch. It's going like a fair here. There's a family day going on at McDermott Park. There's a live band. There's a beer tent that I'll try and stay away from. And there should be a big crowd here. Aberdeen are going to bring a big crowd. It looks as if a lot of the St Johnstone Academy kids and the families, they're all getting free tickets for today. So in a week where St Johnstone caused a little bit of controversy by opening McDermott Park to Celtic for that potential title party next month, I think it's good to see the local community come out to support their team. It's back to league action for these two. They had successful Scottish Cup quarter-finals, both into the semi-final, and there's just so much at stake for both. As you said, they chase very different targets. St Johnstone start the day bottom, but can go level with Dundee if they win today. A 3-goal victory, it might be a long shot, but that would actually take them above Tony Docherty's side. But I suppose any kind of win is going to suit Simo Valicari today. Look, it goes without saying they've had a tough season, St Johnstone, but they've picked up 2 wins and a draw from the last 3 games. They look to be building some momentum. They've got a settled team, they've got a threat, and the likes of Mackenzie, Kirk, But Gordon, we need to spare a thought for poor game Carey. His wonder goal saw off Livingston on Monday night, booked that money spinning semi-final with Celtic, but his reward today is a place back in the bench against Aberdeen. But I'm sure we'll see him at some point, and I dare say Jimmy Tillino will be telling his players not to let him shoot. It was his birthday yesterday, 47 yesterday, the Aberdeen manager, and he'll be hoping to celebrate with a win today. Aberdeen have only lost once on their last 15 visits to McDermott Park. The stats are with them. They won 2-1 here back in August. Tillin, I remember seeing Aberdeen a couple of months ago, and he managed to survive that awful run. They had nothing about them really, but they've only got one defeat in the last 6, and that was against Celtic. They are also starting to hit their stride. They sit 4th coming into today, just a point behind Hibs, where they really need another win as that battle for 3rd place hots up. Kevin Nisbet, he's been the main man. He's got 5 goals in his last 6 games. He earned the Scotland recall this week, and I'm sure he'll be a key man here today. In terms of the teams, just one change from St Johnstone from that Livy game. Drew Wright is in for Jonathan Svedberg. So it's like Andy Fisher in goals, Daniel Balodis, Zach Mitchell and Barry Douglas at the back, Sam Curtis, Jason Holt, Drew Wright, Sven Sprangler and Stephen Duke McKenna across the middle, with Mackenzie Kirk and Adama Sidibe up front. Subs for St Johnstone: Sinclair, Griffith, Svedberg, Clark, Carey, Stephen, McPake, Kimpioka and Watt. As for Aberdeen, just one change as well. Jack McKenzie comes in for Leighton Clarkson. That means Graham Shinney is shifting into midfield. So it's Dimitar Mitov in goals against his former club. Back 4 of Alexander Jensen, Alfie Dorrington, Mats Noster and Jack McKenzie. Graham Shinney and Ante Palaversa will anchor the midfield, with Shaden Morris, Kevin Nisbet and Topi Keskinen in behind Ode Dabag. Subs for Aberdeen are Doohan, Devlin, Povara, Clarkson, Gay, Ockles, Sockler, Milne and Boyd. The referee at McDermott Park is Chris Graham, and the VAR is Andrew Dallas.
You know it's getting to that stage of the season because every single game matters. I like the look of every one of them. What about Kilmarnock and Hibs, Callum Brown?
Yeah, good afternoon from Rugby Park as Kilmarnock face Hibs for the 3rd time this season. Derek McInnes's men come into this one having lost 3 on the spin. They've got 4 games to try and salvage a spot in the top 6, and that push you feel really has to start today against a Hibs side who haven't lost a league game since early December, so by no means an easy task. Kelly occupied 10th position, but they're only 6 points adrift of Motherwell in 6th position. As disappointing as a bottom half finish would be for Kelly after last season's success, it's what behind them that probably causes the most concern though, with Dundee and St Johnstone only 3 and 6 points behind respectively. Kelly fans will be hoping that the disaster of relegation in 2021 doesn't repeat itself. As for Hibs, they tasted rare defeat last time out as their Scottish Cup journey came to an end at Celtic Park. But David Gray's side are still protecting a 13-match unbeaten league run. They have the chance today to better the club's longest top-flight unbeaten run in a single season. That came in the 1949-1950 campaign in the famous 5 team. In doing so, that would tighten their grip on 3rd spot, whilst all but confirming a top 6 place with around 3 games to spare. Team news then, well, the last time Matty Kennedy started a match, Hibs sat bottom of the table on 8 points in early November. That shows you how far the Hibees have come. But in terms of Kilmarnock, Kennedy is one of 4 changes. Elsewhere, Robbie McCrory, Danny Armstrong and Bobby Wales come into the side. Kieran O'Hara, Liam Polworth, David Watson and Bruce Anderson all drop to the bench. So it's Robbie McCrory back in goal for Kelly, a back 4 of Lewis Mayo, Joe Wright, Robbie Dees and Corey Ndaba. Back in at left back after a stint in midfield. A midfield 4 of Danny Armstrong, Brad Lyons, Matty Kennedy and Fraser Murray, with young Bobby Wales and Marley Watkins up front. The subs for Kelly: O'Hara, Wilson Brown, McKenzie, Watson, Cameron, Anderson, Ramsey, Donnelly and Polworth. As for the visitors, Hibs, 3 changes from them from their last weekend's Scottish Cup quarter-final defeat to Celtic. Nicky Cadden drops out after picking up an injury in that one, and he is replaced at left wing-back by Jordan Obita, whilst Nathan Mariah Welsh and Josh Campbell also dropped to the bench for Dylan Levitt and Junior Hoylett. So it's the regular 3-5-2 for the Hibees. Jordan Smith in goal, a back 3 of Lewis Miller, Rocky Bashiri and Jack Iredale. Chris Cadden and Jordan Obita will occupy the wing-back berths, flanking a 3-man midfield of Nectar Triantis, Dylan Levitt and Junior Hoylett, who will play as the number 10, in behind Martin Boyle and Kieran Bowie. On the bench for Hibs, Bursick, Ekpiteta, O'Hora, Manny, Mariah Welsh, Campbell, Gale, Rudy Molotnikov and Mikola Kukaravich.
Looking forward to that one as well. 4 big Premiership games today, 2 tomorrow, huge games down the divisions, and a big game to look forward to and back on as well. So we'll take a look at the week's biggest talking points when we return.
With AI, if you can think it, you can make it. But so can cybercriminals. Norton VPN Ultimate helps protect you and your family. Combining advanced online privacy protection with AI-powered scam detection so you can live your best digital life. Today's online privacy threats have met their match. Search Norton VPN Ultimate for a fast and reliable VPN that keeps you safer online.
The longest successful points kick in international rugby history was 70 yards, 8.5 inches. That's nothing. The new Volkswagen ID.7 Tourer has a range of up to 424 miles. That's 746,240 yards. It's got the distance. Volkswagen ID.7 Tourer. Miles better. ID.7 Tourer official test range 358 to 424 miles when fully charged depending on trim. May not reflect real-life driving.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
Action as it happens. And your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Big day of Scottish football ahead. Big weekend coming up once we leave you this evening as well. But you probably know the drill by now. At this stage on a Saturday, we reflect, we look back on some of the week's biggest talking points, and no real surprise what it is this week. Fraser Wishart, Jose Mourinho sent up the road with his tail between his legs, and a Scottish team in Rangers heading through to the quarter-finals of the Europa League.
Yeah, amazing. When you think of the season they've had, you think of Rangers' home record recent weeks. Philippe Clement losing his job, Barry Ferguson from nowhere brought in, and my goodness, they were hanging on a wee bit though, didn't they? They did lose the game, and at 2-0 you were really fearful they would lose another goal, but they dug in. Thought James Tavernier and Suter, particularly at the back, were brilliant. Balogun was brilliant as well, but they held on nerve, and whatever the score was on Thursday night, Rangers are through to the quarter-finals in what's been a remarkably bad season. It's amazing, but it keeps the season alive, because if they were knocked out on Thursday night, what do Rangers have to play for between now and the end of the season? So a really important win for lots of reasons. Firstly, for the supporters, it gives them something to cheer about. Financially, it's good for the club as well, and it just keeps the players on their toes as well for the remainder of the season. Terrific night at Ibrox, but it was very nervy. You could feel it. I think even through the television you could feel it. And Ibrox, the fans were really nervous towards the end, but they got there in the end, and a great night for Rangers fans. Yeah, David Friel, I think most of you, well, probably all of you, expected Rangers to go through, given how well they did in the first leg. I'm not sure you expected a 2-0 defeat and for it to happen the way it did, but nevertheless, on Rangers go, and Bilbao up next.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be a tougher test. I expected Rangers to score in the night, Gordon. I don't think it was, if you take the 90 minutes in isolation, a vintage European performance from Rangers are hitting the standards that they've probably seen in previous years or even this season. But I was actually really impressed with the way Rangers handled extra time. I thought the pressure was on then, and as Fraser said, John Suter, James Tavernier, guys like that really steadied the ship, and I actually think moving back to a back four made a big difference for Rangers at that point as well. And look, they're through. The work was done in Istanbul. It was 3-1 going on 5, and Rangers finished the job. I do think Athletic Bilbao will be a much, much tougher test. Watched a bit of their game against Roma the other night, and they look very, very good. 4th in La Liga just now. They finished higher than Rangers in the Europa League phase as well. I wonder if that is going to be a step too far for Rangers, but they deserve huge credit for getting this far.
How important was it, Roger Hannon? What does it mean, apart from the obvious, that you go through to the next round of the Europa League? How big was it?
It was huge. As Fraser said, it kept Rangers' season going. You wonder what it would have done for Barry Ferguson's job prospects had they gone out to Fenerbahce on the night at Ibrox after a 3-1 first leg lead. It keeps him going. It brings in valuable money as well to the coffers. You get to the quarter final, it's valuable. If they could get past Bilbao, it becomes really valuable. So it was crucial for Rangers, and they weren't very good, Gordon. But if someone had said last Thursday afternoon before the first leg in Istanbul, Rangers will get through in penalty kicks next week at Ibrox, I think every single Rangers fan would have taken it, regardless of the circumstances.
It's funny the way you can spin it, Ross, and look at it in two separate ways, because of course you'd rather be in a 3-1 lead. I mean, that just goes without saying, but in a strange way it probably does crank up the pressure, because if you go out at home having had a 3-1 lead from the away leg, you know, it's seen as this monumental collapse. So is that the psychological bit that Rangers had to handle on Thursday?
Like you're saying, it was added pressure because everyone expected them to go and get the job done, and we've seen over recent weeks what happens at Ibrox when they're expected to go and take the game to someone and beat them, and that's been a problem for Rangers. But it's absolutely massive that they've got through. I probably agree with what most folk are thinking, that it might be a step too far this round. I think the big thing about it is that the second leg isn't at Ibrox. If you look at the nights over the last few years that they've had, the second leg's always been at Ibrox, and it's been a big night. So the fact that they're away from home second leg could play a huge part in that. I think it might just be one step too far.
How big a night was it, Gordon, for Jack Butland, who's had a bit of stick this season, quite a lot of stick this season in Europe, domestically, but when you go and step up and save 2 penalties to help you through?
Yeah, funny enough, we were sitting in the studio watching this, and we fancied him as the better of the goalkeeper. You're right, Gordon, he's not had the season that everybody was expecting. We know he is a top quality goalkeeper, but when Rangers needed him on Thursday night, he certainly provided the goods. We keep saying, you know, the next round's a step too far for Rangers. Everybody believes that. This is a Thursday night Rangers. You never know what you're getting. How many times have we been in here talking about that, and they've produced the goods? But look, I agree with the guys. I don't think Rangers played particularly well on Thursday night. Cup football's quite simple. Get into the next round, and Rangers achieved that.
What did it mean for Barry Ferguson, Roger?
I think it was huge for Barry Ferguson. This has been a really big week. If he, you know, we said last week, if he could get past Fenerbahce in any shape and then escape Celtic Park tomorrow without a defeat, it would represent a really good week for Barry Ferguson. I thought, you know, I agree with Fraser. I thought they looked better when they went back to that flat back four, so he can see things in games and he can change things in games. You know, he changed prior to the first leg. He went to that back five and it worked, and then they looked far better when he went back to the back four. Fascinated to see what he does tomorrow going to Celtic Park. There'll be a few tired limbs, I would imagine, after that extra time and penalties on Thursday. Does he change personnel? Does he go with a 5? Does he go with a 4? These are big decisions for Barry Ferguson, because he will go into Celtic Park and meet a Celtic side who have had 2.5 months to stew on the performance and the defeat at Ibrox.
David Friel, I don't think any of us really know, because of the impending takeover and so on, we don't really know to what extent Barry Ferguson's name will stay in the managerial conversation. But would that conversation have ended straight away if Rangers had gone out on Thursday?
I'm not sure, Gordon. Look, I said last week, I don't see Barry Ferguson becoming the next Rangers manager. However, he's certainly putting himself into the conversation. He has to be with those kind of those kind of results and the performance in Istanbul. I think, though, although we don't know too much about the thinking of Andrew Kavanagh and Parag Maratta and all the 49ers enterprises, I think they will take an overall view of things. I don't think they will be the type of people who will just be swayed by a couple of one-off results. I think they'll look at this very strategically, and of course Barry Ferguson will come into the conversation, but my gut feeling is they'll just look elsewhere for a new manager and a fresh start.
Do you know what I mean, Gordon? I'm not really asking now of whether you think he will or won't be, but I wonder if, because if everyone's saying he has to show something, those who think it's possible, right, think he needs to show something. So if the season had ended on Thursday, then
no chance. Yeah, no chance. And like, depends. I think everything will do. I agree with David, right? I think Barry is in there to steady the ship. I think he's in there to give Rangers board a bit of breathing time. You've seen the passion he brings to the club. He's a supporter. He was a legend. Everything about him. Thursday night was massive for him. Look, big task tomorrow, and I think Roger's right. It'll be really interesting to see how he goes and lines up tactically. But I think going forward, with new investors coming in, Gordon, they tend to look in a different direction. But if Barry can keep doing what he's doing, I'm sure he must be going to be involved somewhere along the line in that structure.
I think Brendan Rodgers was having a little tease at them yesterday when he said he didn't see much of a difference from the inconsistency of Philip Clement's Rangers to the inconsistency of Barry Ferguson Rangers. They start terribly at Kilmarnock, but they win the game. They then lose to Motherwell. They then beat Fenerbahce in Turkey. They then lose to Fenerbahce, but somehow get through in penalties. It has been inconsistent. He needs to get that inconsistency out of the Rangers players' games. He might need to get a draw tomorrow and then win out the rest of the season if he's going to have a chance of getting this job.
Is that where managers do obviously require a sort of calmer, more analytical head than the rest of us, Fraser? Because we can all say it's all about getting through, and that's really all that matters. But I suppose if you're Barry Ferguson, you would need to analyse that performance, make sure it was better in the future, make sure you don't lose 2-0 at home for, losing a fourth consecutive match at Ibrox.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Barry get carried away at the end of the game, and you could see the joy in the players' faces, the fans' faces. But Barry would have to sit down and look at the game and think, they lost 2-0, and I think that was a fair reflection on the game, and they could have lost the game 3-0 during the 90 minutes, especially in the second half. So he'll have to look at it analytically and come up with a team for tomorrow. He's got to think about what Celtic going to do. They double up in wide areas, their full-backs and their wide players. So if he goes with the 3-4-2-1, that leaves your wing-backs exposed. So I think he might go to a back four, but he's obviously got the Tavernier Maeda issue. Where does Maeda play? Will he play through the middle? So lots to think about. But from Barry's point of view, I'm not sure he even thinks that he will absolutely be the next Rangers manager. He came in to help the club that he loves, and at 47 it's the first opportunity he's had really to be a full-time coach, and I think he's done well. I think he's individually analysing games, changing things as well, and I agree with what the guys are saying. There should really be a role. If he gets to the end of the season and things improve, then I think he should be rewarded with a role. But who knows what Barry wants. He's got a life outside of football with his wife and his family, so really intriguing. But at the moment, Barry will just be focused on the big game tomorrow. I think he's been quite calm. We all know as a player he could get stuck in, and he was a really emotional player, but I think he's spoken well in the media. I think he's been calm at the side of the pitch as well. But tomorrow will be a big test for him, and a big test for the Rangers team. Can they lift themselves physically and mentally for this game?
What did you make of Jose Mourinho, Roger? We've not had the pleasure of him on Scottish soil, well, ever really, for a club game. Was he everything you headline writers hoped he would be?
Oh, he was fabulous. I think the time the draw was made, when Rangers missed that last round, they were going to get either, was it Twente Enschede or Anderlecht or somebody, or Fenerbahce. I was desperate for it to be Fenerbahce to get Jose over. He is show business. He is cabaret. He was fantastic in all of his press conferences, and even in defeat. You've seen the videos in the last 24 hours of him going into the home dressing room congratulating Barry Ferguson, and I see a few people on social media saying, well, of course he went in. It gives him an idea where he's going to be working next season.
He's brilliant, I've got to say. Absolutely. I'm going to use the word adore him. I think he's great.
Oh, behave yourself.
I think
a man of your age, look, 63 tomorrow,
and you adore Jose
Mourinho.
I think he brings something. Football, you look at people in football, 90% are as boring as anything. Yeah. He is exciting. He brings it. Even his scarf matching his jacket
and his
hair. Come on. He as Roger said, showbiz.
Don't really know where to go after talking about the man's scarf, but
yeah, do you know what? I'll add something to Jose Mourinho. When I was at Fulham, his son was a goalkeeper for Fulham under 14s, so they used to train in the training ground when the schools were off. Jose Mourinho, every single person that he walked past in the Fulham training ground, he knew them on first name terms. He would say, "Hi Gordon, hi Roger, hi Gordon."
We weren't there.
It was unbelievable. No, I know, but that's the kind of guy he is. He takes an interest in absolutely everyone, so it doesn't surprise me that he's went into the dressing room to congratulate.
What was the video? Was it Bailey Rice who thought about putting a Rangers scarf on his back? Did you see that? You've seen the video. So he's behind Jose Mourinho. You know the way you might pull a daft face behind your school teacher. So he's got the Rangers scarf and he almost puts it on him, and then he kind of changes his mind.
No, you don't do that. I wonder if he gave Barry a lovely bottle of red. Did he not do that with Fergie?
Yeah, he did. Yep. Back in the day,
he's just got a touch of class. I know sometimes
you've got a proper crush on this guy.
Nice man crush.
See on the touchline, and he's moaning and he's jumping about, and his players. I didn't like the antics of his players, let me say that. But when he just gets away from that, he's just got that aura. That day I was so close to him just to meet him.
Honestly pathetic. What chances of progressing again, Roger? Can you ever rule this Rangers team out?
Yeah, listen, they've shown in Europe before. You remember the run in 2022 with them beaten, I think, every round, and they managed to get all the way to that final in Seville and lost in penalties to Eintracht. You never know. I tend to agree with Ross. I think this might be a step too far. I watched Athletic Bilbao in the second leg against Roma, and Roma were down to 10 men after about 10 minutes when Mats Hummels was sent off. But 3-0, it could have been 6-0. Inaki Williams is good, Nico Williams is off the scale.
But
so, without
for extra thing is because it's at their ground, the final.
The final, they will have that extra push, and I think, to be honest, I think Rangers will miss Suter and Diamande in that first leg.
That's true, forgot about those suspensions as well. I think that's us pretty much done tidying up the leftovers from Thursday. I'm sure you Rangers fans all enjoyed it. It brought up a number of talking points for us, but they are very much linked to what happens next, because tomorrow it's a quick turnaround, a trip to Celtic Park. Who'll be tired, who won't be, who'll be fit and available, what sort of tactical decisions will Barry Ferguson make, and how will it be met by Celtic, who are going to win this league and win it comfortably, but it is a question of when. So we'll park that for now. You can tweet us all afternoon at Clyde SSB. You can wade in on the phones a bit later on, but when we return, we go back around the grounds again and focus on these 3 o'clock kickoffs.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
15 minutes away from the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Let's go back around the grounds. We'll start at Fir Park and let's get the thoughts of the new Motherwell manager Michael Wimmer. Been a busy week for the club, of course, with the international call-up of Lennon Miller.
Yes, it's always so a balance. If you say, "Oh God, two wins in a row, why a break?" But it was for us. It was good. We could implement new things. We can work on the athletic also to get more load in the training sessions, and also to have the friendly game, because for me it was important to get pictures from the players in the game.
He's not mentioned that friendly game was against Mark Wilson's Partick Thistle, though, has he? He left that detail out.
Yeah, Wilson said that they played very well against them the last 20 minutes.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Fraser, what Michael Wimmer must have valued that time. You want to stay in the cup, let's be honest. We even had a Rangers fan, I think, phoned last night saying maybe it was a good thing that Rangers lost to Queen's Park, because it gave them time to prepare for Fenerbahce. I'm not quite sure that's how it works, but anyway, Michael Wimmer came in. He's got a squad of about 33, 34 players. So many injuries. I mean, Motherwell rarely pay money for players. They paid money for Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. He's been out since that Rangers game. It looked like he was back this week. He's now broke his wrist. He'll probably be out for the season. They're on like their third goalie. Aston Oxborough's back. I noticed that Luke Armstrong, who scored the goal against Rangers last time out, he's nowhere to be seen today. Tawanda Maswanisi's nowhere to be seen. You must be desperate for a bit of consistency with who's available.
Yeah, I think so. And as you say, a huge squad. I was just looking at the programme earlier. I think it's 34 players on it, but they've got, kind of Shane Blaney and Sam Nicholson is out again. Jack Vale, Ross Callahan's been out for a long time. Paul McGinn, goalkeepers just dropping like flies. It's been a strange old season for Motherwell. But I think I said earlier, I felt like Michael Wimmer would welcome the chance to get some of his players some games, some of his injured players fit, and also just start to get his training sessions about how he wants to play as well. But before the break, of course, if they'd lost those 2 games against Dundee and Rangers, have a different atmosphere. Rangers in particular will give them a lift. Totally unexpected, don't often win it at Ibrox. The big game was the Dundee game the week before that, the midweek game, where they were at home to Dundee. I saw them play on the Saturday before that. They didn't play very well. Lost to Dundee United. The week before was against Ross County here. Terrible, and I really worried for Motherwell. But that win against Dundee, they steadied the ship, and of course winning at Ibrox just gives them all a lift. So they should be in good shape. Motherwell, they've got a big enough squad to cope. They've got a decent squad of players. They should be rested. They should be fresh, and I think they've got a really good chance of winning this game.
How encouraging though would it be for St Mirren fans, Fraser, knowing that you've got a man in the dugout who, at his current club and the club that you're facing today, really knows how to get a level of success in this league? For this size of club, he's kind of done it all and seen it all multiple times. That must at least be something for the St Mirren fans to keep them warm.
Oh, totally. And if you go into some of the message boards, my family are all big St Mirren fans. They tell me there's people that just want Stephen Robinson out because the performances haven't been great, style of play has not been great, and maybe spoiled by the success of the last couple of seasons. To me, that just seems bizarre, because you say he's a guy for a club like St Mirren and Motherwell previously. He knows how to get results, he knows how to get success for those football clubs. So Yeah, sometimes I think St Mirren could maybe play a wee bit better football, but the players they've got are strong, they're powerful, they press the game well, they've got big lads up front. Olasanya goes and stretches the game. Ayunga today will come and link the play. They've got a good balance to their team, and it might just suit them today because they don't have to go and make the play. I think that's when they struggle sometimes at home against a team like Motherwell or Ross County or somebody. They struggle to make the play, but I think St Mirren have to make sure they don't lose this game. I think more important for Motherwell to win. They've got Aberdeen and Hearts coming up now before the split. St Mirren go to the game against Kilmarnock, Dundee and Ross County, all teams in the bottom half as well, so they've maybe got an easier spell of games. But for St Mirren it's don't lose. I think for Motherwell they really have to win if they're going to be in the top 6.
Looking forward to that one. Also looking forward to St Johnstone, Aberdeen. It's a small stat, David. I don't think it's entirely important, but it just jumped out at me this morning. I'm quite enjoying Aberdeen being in 4th with a -8 goal difference. It probably speaks to just how mad their season has been. Where are they now? How close are they to getting back to what they were? Obviously it's still very tight. How do you assess kind of where they sit currently?
I don't think they're back to where they were in the start of the season, those crazy first few months, Gordon, but they're definitely improving. You speak about goals, I mean Kevin Nisbet, who had gone so long without a goal, is their top league goal scorer with 7 goals, and I think that speaks to what you're talking about in terms of their goal difference. Look, I mentioned that Hibs game earlier on, and I remember watching them that day, and they just had nothing in the final third. They had nobody stepping up to actually weigh in with assists, with goals or anything, and Jimmy Tilleen that day, that was as down as we probably saw him, I think, that day at Easter Road when they lost. And I think since then, I don't know what's happened, they just seem to have found something. I'm not going to say it's a spark because I don't think they've been that good, but they've found a way. I think the introduction of Dabag's helped Nisbet, and I think together they offer far more of a threat. Shayden Morris, who was always good off the bench, is starting to contribute a bit more from the start. I think Keskinen falls into that category as well. So I definitely think they're still a work in progress under Jimmy Tilleen, but they're banging the hunt for this 3rd place, and a win today would go a long way, because Hibs will get a really tough game down at Kilmarnock. If Aberdeen can get 3 points here, and as I said earlier, they do tend to do well at McDermott Park, it could go a long way to deciding who finishes 3rd.
I can't remember which way you stuck your neck on the line. Were you the original St Johnstone are gone merchant on this show a few months ago, David? How are you feeling now?
No, I think that was a few seasons ago, Gordon. I went early. I went after the 3 games a few seasons ago. But yeah, look, I'd be very worried if I was a Dundee fan, to be perfectly honest with you. I think Dundee are in free fall, and they've got a really tough game against United tomorrow. I don't know, something about Simo Valakari, you know, what was it, he promised the other week, rock and roll football again. It's not quite been there, but they're definitely improving. He's got a togetherness, a spirit, and that can go a long way in the final weeks of the season.
Now let's switch focus to Hearts against Ross County. I wonder how the pressure's cranking up on Hearts, Gabriel. It just maybe shows you how damaging the start to the season was and how congested the league is, because there's no doubt Hearts have improved. Their points tally under Neil Critchley is absolutely fine. It's better than fine, it's quite good, and yet they could finish outside the top 6, which for a club of that size is fairly unacceptable.
Yeah, Gordon, exactly as you're saying there. For Hearts and for Ross County, it's the start of the season that is totally costing them. These are 2 of the form teams in the league. Only the Old Firm and Hibs have picked up more points than these 2 across the last 10-15 games. But obviously, Hearts being the bigger club with the bigger expectations, it's a bigger deal for them. Critchley, since he's come in, he had criticism at the start when they were still in Europe, didn't make it through, but he has turned it around. Listen, they're in the Scottish Cup semi-final. They can still make the top 6, so the season is still there for Hearts. They could finish in a European place. They could finish 3rd, they could finish 4th, they could win a trophy. All of that. On the other side, they could lose to Aberdeen on the 19th of April, and they could finish 7th or 8th. Now that would represent a very, very poor season considering what they did last year. For County though, it's all just about survival. Could they sneak into the top 6? Yes, they're in 8th at the moment, but if you offer them right now finishing 8th, they would snap your hand off for it. We were talking about the form there, Gordon. Hearts victors in 7 of their last 9, only losing to Hibs and Rangers, of course, a damaging Derby defeat in a bid for top 6. But they've been very good at beating the teams beneath them in recent months. County have won 3 of their last 4, and this always seems to be the time of year they turn it around. Don Cowie, currently the man doing it once again. They are edging closer to safety, and their crucial away form so much better now. Quite interestingly, The 2 meetings this season have been a draw. Hearts haven't won any of their last 4 games against the Staggies.
And of course, let's look at the game between Kilmarnock and Hibs as well. Callum, just sometimes you get an opponent that just is quite inexplicable because it can span different seasons and different teams, but you just can't quite get the better of, and Hibs' record against Kilmarnock is not good.
No, it's not. Well, Hibs won the last meeting, of course. Triantis 1-0 in December. The first meeting between the sides this season finished a 1-1 draw here in September. Bruce Anderson's late penalty, but in fact the last 3 matches here they've ended in score draws between Kelly and Hibs, so perhaps hoping for that today. But Kilmarnock, they're on a run of just 1 win in 15 against the Hibs. That was a 1-0 win here in November 2022. Danny Armstrong with the goal in that one, and there's been a real lack of consistency though from Kilmarnock this season, and that's probably the frustration for them. I think it's probably highlighted by maybe that goalkeeper position. I think Derek McInnes probably doesn't even know he's number 1 at this stage of the season. Robbie McCrory's back in today for Kieran O'Hara, but O'Hara with 17 appearances in all competitions this season, McCrory with 23. Not quite a 50-50 split, but 60-40. You're kind of wanting a stability and a figure behind you in goal, and that's probably where Kilmarnock have been let down this season. That defence, 47 goals conceded in the Premiership after 29 games. They only conceded 44 in all of last season. So it's a difficult one for them today against a Hibs side in fine form. I said they're looking to go 14 league matches unbeaten, and that would be unprecedented for the club. The famous 5, they've got a stand named after them at Easter Road. That's how good that team was in the late 40s, early 50s. So it's set to be a cracker today, hopefully. And it's a massive game for Kilmarnock.
Yeah, let's hear from Derek McInnes.
At this stage of the season with 9 games to go, you'd rather just get a win one way or the other, even if it means a poorer performance. It's just about scraping wins and getting the job done. And we feel that there's wins in us. It's important that we try and get stronger as we go along, but ultimately we've got to try and rein in the teams above us. I think the league is so unusual in terms of how tight it is. I think from 6th down, nobody can breathe easy, really.
And it's almost showtime. A lot of talk before the games, how the teams are shaping up, what the team lineups will be. We've given you all the answers, and now it's time to find out what the afternoon has in store. 4 fantastic games in the Scottish Premiership, some big ties down the divisions as well. Plenty to look forward to as far as tomorrow goes, and it all gets underway next.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Kick-off is here across the country. The sun is shining. What more could you want on a Saturday afternoon? Let's see if these 3 duds can get a pretend ACCA up for us. Ross McCormack, you have 4 Premiership games. Just give us the outcome. We don't need scores or anything like that. Who's going to win those 4 games?
St Mirren, I'm going to go Kilmarnock and Hibs to draw, Hearts to beat Ross County, and a draw at McDermott Park.
Roger Hannah.
Aberdeen to win at Perth, Hearts to beat Ross County. I am going to go with my Monday night mate Andy Halliday and say Motherwell will beat St Mirren, and a draw. I'll agree with Ross, a draw at Kilmarnock.
Okay, I'll go Motherwell, St Mirren draw. I'm going to go Hibs, Hearts and St Johnstone.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get advice on keeping infections and viruses away when school returns.
Well, let's see how that pans out. Don't forget, you can tweet us all afternoon at Clyde SSB, and round about 5 o'clock I will give you the nod, and you can get in touch to let us know what you're thinking on the phones. I've got a funny feeling tomorrow's game might play a fairly sizable part in that, but we can get to that a bit later on. Let's focus on these 3 o'clock games and see if we get any early drama. The Well boys over in the corner have got a big banner up wanting to end the alcohol ban. I know that's been discussed recently in political circles. Roger Hannah, there's a banner of, I think, John Swinney in between Jack and Victor, who've each got a pint, so that's 1 pint plus 1 pint is 2 pints. You know the line.
I'm aware of the phrase to Bobby the barman
from Still Game.
Yes.
So just leave that up to your imagination. In the alcohol
Well,
ban, No, I'd rather he didn't.
Steady.
He's a Roger.
I think it's moving in that direction, Gordon, isn't it? I think a lot of the clubs want it to happen. I think you might find there's a 2-tier system to it when it comes in. There will be Category A games, like for instance one that's taking place in the East End of Glasgow tomorrow at 12:30, where there will be no alcohol. But the likes of, you're talking about Motherwell v St Mirren this afternoon, I think that's an ideal fixture where you can go up. It will be done in a sensible environment, and the clubs will be the financial beneficiaries.
Anyway, we can get back to that at some other point, hopefully, because we've got games on the go right now. There was actually a minute's silence for Cammy Murray, ex-Motherwell and St Mirren player, before the game at Fir Park.
Yeah,
he was a coach at Motherwell when Fraser played back in the 80s. So
I remember Cammy very well. Lovely man.
Yeah, I saw both clubs paying their tributes in the last couple of weeks, so it was always likely to be the case, fitting that they would come together and pay their respects today.
St Mirren Hall of Famer. I think he holds a record there for the most consecutive appearances over a sort of 3-year spell. I think about in the mid-60s. So an appropriate mark of respect and commemoration.
This family day must have worked, because David Friel says it's the biggest home crowd he's seen at McDermott Park in a while. Always helps when the sun's out and people go along on a Saturday afternoon. Hopefully the football lives up to it. No early drama to tell you about yet. It would be very early, but we'll see how we go in the opening stages. Gordon Dale's punching the air. I didn't know you were a big Huddersfield fan.
Yeah.
Right,
I've got a lot of time for Huddersfield just now.
Just hate Crawley.
I do you know, I've been to Crawley, didn't enjoy myself. I thought next time they're playing Huddersfield.
Was it creepy Crawley?
Creepy Crawley, yeah. Oh God. Do you know, so I've worked with Keevans, I've worked with Wilson. I've got to sit here now. I'm glad this is only a 4-hour show.
What are you wanting to happen at Firhill this afternoon? It is the mush. It was Mark Wilson against Scott Brown, the old Celtic mates.
One of your closest friends in the world, really, Mark
No,
Wilson.
he's not. Listen, that's a myth. I don't particularly like the boy. I just work with him. He's a work colleague. Look, he's working very hard at it. I think that if they get a result this afternoon, it'd be great times for Thistle, because I think a lot of people are buying into what they're doing. Put some line for a job, and plus the fact it keeps them out here on a Saturday. It's a win-win situation.
And he's running the dugout. Brian Graham playing again, captaining the team. He's, he'll go nose to nose with Scott Brown, maybe the same way Dougie Emery did last week.
Yeah, that was a bit fiery, wasn't it? Dougie and Scott Brown, yeah. Two great characters, I've got
Mark
to say.
loves Scott Brown though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. By the way, Steve Scott air score, Mark will run out and high five him. That's the sort of a guy Mark is.
Championship though, Roger, is getting interesting as well. I think Dunfermline clearly struggling, aren't they? Gordon Dalziel's old team winning the Fife derby last night. Yeah,
and they won it convincingly. They look as if they are toiling. Dunfermline never in the game. They're probably fortunate it was only 2-0 to Wraith, and they will be desperately hoping Airdrie don't pick up anything at home to Livy this afternoon.
Early chance for Motherwell. Gogic, your pal from the school gates, Gordon Dale, he either slipped or was fouled, but anyway, play went on. Tom Sparrow onto the long ball. He lobbed the keeper, but it went over the bar as well. Marley Watkins flashes the ball across the box. Bobby Wales can't quite get there, nearly an opener. See if Steve Clarke is opening his mind to that sort of profile, the James Wilson profile, the young impressive striker in the Scottish Premiership. Is Bobby Wales close?
I saw a quote from Derek McInnes through the week suggesting that he has done really well, Bobby Wales, and I'll be fascinated to see what happens with him in the summer. Hearts have got James Wilson under contract, Motherwell have got Lennon Miller under contract, but Bobby Wales' deal runs out at the end of the season. So does he stay? Does he go? If he goes, where would he go? Because I actually think it's more important that he goes somewhere or stays at Killie where he's going to get regular first team football, because regular first team football is the thing that has thrust Lennon Miller and James Wilson into Steve Clarke's thoughts.
Like Bobby Wales, Ross, is he, like we said, if I'd asked you 4 weeks ago, was he in the conversation? Maybe it's no, but now that you see that James Wilson is Bobby Wales close to that level?
It would have to be for me, especially you look at Kevin Nisbet for the large part of the season. He's not really pulled up any trees. It's only the last few weeks he's sort of started scoring again, so he's definitely in the conversation. I like him. I think he's a good player. I think it's absolutely paramount that he does what Roger just said there. If he is going to go it's got to be to a club where he continues his development and plays. Otherwise, he could fall by the wayside.
Who's doing the Hugh Keevins role on the teasers
The
today?
man in
Is
the
that
middle
you,
here.
Roger Hannah? Don't let the pressure get to you.
I'll not look.
First half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best
That's if
football
he's
news
got
and
one.
opinion online.
Yeah. Right, who was the first player?
We could just do a few loops of the Mastermind theme tune until
Yeah. Come on,
Roger
Luke.
Hannah gets his question.
Do you know something? I
Here
don't
we
know
go.
why we employ this wee boy here.
But this is what
Come
happens
on.
when Hugh Keevins isn't here. Standards just
See, he normally
fall
just does it
through
off the top
floor.
of his head.
Exactly.
I need
Take
a
it
little
away.
bit of assistance. First off, teaser, can you name the previous 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game since 2017-18?
How tough is that?
Now, even I'm going to have to read that again, Gordon.
Yeah.
Can you name the previous 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game since 2017-18?
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you how tough that is. There's no answers below it.
That is incredibly tough.
Do you
So
know that?
essentially looking for the Old Firm games where Callum McGregor or Scott Brown didn't lead Celtic out and James Tavernier didn't lead Rangers out.
Yeah.
Okay. That is tough. You need to get them all at Clyde SSB. Of course, to win it, you need to get them all and get them all quicker than everyone else. But I don't mind, just throw some names at us, have fun, see what you can get, see how many you can land, and we'll do that between now and just before half time at Clyde SSB. Not many goals anywhere in Scotland. The first and the only one, I think, it comes, and what a journey that is. At least I've seen their team go in front early on against form, you'd have to say. Inverness, Cali Thistle 0 and an Athletic 1.
They're as well not getting too excited. I've seen away teams go to Inverness, Gordon, and lead 3-0 at half time and still have a long road home after
Yeah,
losing.
okay.
And the manager has to get a police escort out
Yeah.
of the stadium.
But at least I was still brave enough to start up at Avamore for the fish and chips now home.
Oh, you have to. You just have to,
I,
don't you?
I didn't care who I ran into, the Air Boys or whatever. I was in there for my fish supper.
Do you not think it's a little bit frustrating? It's just a wee bit too close to Inverness, though.
Yeah.
You know, when you're leaving, could you break up the journey a bit more? See if they could move Aviemore a wee bit further down the A9 for me.
Closer to Pitlochry.
Somewhere in the middle, and it would just break up the journey a bit more. Because you're only back in the car, 25 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah.
No, even that. You've used your stop.
Yeah, true.
Wreaks havoc with the journey back down the road. Anyway, back to more important matters. What we really need is a goal to distract us, to wake us up away from Gordon Dalziel's chip shop memoirs, but nothing yet.
Huddersfield have just scored the second goal.
Oh, he's happy now.
And if Daz does that celebration again, I'm leaving.
Do you know, I'm very sorry. I was can all apologise. Yeah, we're looking for some excitement the day around. Listen, do you not think the weather brings back the excitement in football as well? The lads are sitting there basking in sunshine, looking for goals, looking for entertainment. And I'll tell you what, some really good games.
I was looking for some sort of Ross, McCormack, Motherwell, St Mirren link, and I found one. Do you remember? You got
Was that my first ever goals for Motherwell against St Mirren? Second last game of my first season. Scored 2.
You scored 2 and lost 3-2.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I think that was my first goal.
No, you scored in the league. It was in the league. Yep, there you go. You got a double, but John Sutton also got a double for St Mirren, and Billy Mehmet. Remember that name?
Billy
He got one
Mehmet.
in there as well, and you lost 3-2 at home at Fir Park. There you go. Stephen Craigan in the Motherwell team. Quite an experimental Motherwell team. Not
Who
that
played,
many
who played
household
up top
names.
with you?
It would have been Scott McDonald that day, I think.
So no, that day was a bit of a strange one. David Clarkson only came on. So you and I don't think there's another striker. Maybe Stephen McGarry moved up there alongside you. Are you on your own?
Yeah, I think Scotty moved that summer to Celtic, I believe.
Or was that Paul Keegan? Remember him?
Oh,
would it have been him?
He owns the Domino's in Paisley. How random is that?
That is random. You're
Phone
right.
on, because we're hungry. I'm just back for the goal. I'm starving. See if you can get a freebie.
Alabiosu's fired over on a tight angle. Ayunga's pass put him in behind the Motherwell defence. Aberdeen are playing some nice stuff, but no clear-cut chances there. There's then a soft penalty claim as Dylan Levitt goes down at Rugby Park, but nothing doing for Hibs there. I don't tell you all the English scores, but it's the big ones. Man City 1, Brighton 0. Erling Haaland with a penalty on the 11th minute. Arbroath 1, Dumbarton 0 in League 1.
Can I just tell you, Gordon, Roger's doing very well at his own question. He's got 2.
See, this is the problem. Hugh gets slipped the answers. Nobody slipped me the answers. I'm trying to help Ross and Daz here.
A very difficult question.
And my two currently is two more than you've got.
I don't get involved in this.
Question. I would like an answer sheet, quite frankly, because I think at some point I'm going to need to dish out clues here. I think that's going to be 7.
Do you have the answers?
No.
Nobody has answers.
This is going to be
the
difficult.
person who wrote the question doesn't even have the answers.
Elgin City 1, Clyde 0. Mark Gallagher with the goal there. Queen of the South 1, Alloa 0, thanks to Lewis O'Donnell. So we are getting goals down the leagues. It's a fairly even split in the capital. Hearts maybe edging the possession, but Ross County are, maybe above all, they're all quite tough to get a gauge on their form at times. But now, because Ross County can win away from home, Roger, it just used to be a real obstacle for them.
When I was looking at the table this morning, I was astonished. 29 games played. Ross County are only 1 point behind Hearts. Imagine that last season when Hearts were storming away in third and Lawrence Shankland was going 30 goals. If you'd said Ross County would rock up at Tynecastle today, 1 point behind Hearts, it's been a fantastic season. I think County have already got the points tally that they reached for the whole of last season with 9 games to go. That's progress.
Yep, they have done very well, and learning to win away has been a huge part of it. So we'll see what happens there in the capital. It's that race for the top 6. It is just so tight. Good save there from Dimitar Mitov, Mackenzie Kirk.
Going back to Tynecastle, we'll need to get a time when Gabs puts the coat back on, because I've been there. The sun
I
beats
thought it was
in.
a bit ambitious there.
He comes over that wheat field stand right into your face in the main stand. You swelter and swelter and swelter, and then it dips below the stand and the coats are back on and you're frozen.
Oh, it'll be cold out there today once that sun goes away.
All he'll do is move one seat and get into his smart car, put the heating on. Have you seen the size of his car?
Oh, I have
Just
seen
sit
it,
there next to. Oh mate, you should see this. Cabs' car into it. Well, it's like a box with a steering wheel.
It's your favourite topic.
I seen he turned up with it.
Honestly, that was the first night you came and you put your washing in the front of it.
Would it fit in the back of my van?
It's a good shout.
Listen, it would fit in the front of your van, not the back yet.
Were you back out in the golf course today enjoying the spring weather?
Teeing off at 9 o'clock this morning. Fantastic day for it, I've got to say. Love it. Love being back on the golf course and then straight back in here and then straight back in here tomorrow, and that's me until Tuesday.
Busy weekend. We are looking forward to tomorrow. 12 until 4 we are on. So I was going to say set your alarm. I don't know if that's quite required. Stick it in your diary, whatever it is. We're here until 12 till 4 tomorrow, taking you through all you need to know from Celtic Park.
You must have plans after 4 o'clock tomorrow. 63rd birthday.
I've got plenty of plans, let me tell you now.
His birthday tomorrow.
Josie stay behind to see how he's celebrating with you?
I passed on a wee, best wishes for my birthday, but no, I'm just going to have a wee celebration tomorrow after 4:30 by the time I got home.
63 tomorrow.
I'm roughly run about that age, yeah.
That's fine.
I think Mark Wilson was hoping to head out with you, but now he's been told he's more of an acquaintance than a friend. He might withdraw from that.
Mate, I'm just trying to get out his wedding. I'm dreading that invitation comes through the post. I've tried everything.
That's just because you don't want to buy him a present.
I just don't want to go. I don't particularly like those nights.
Oh, listen,
bring back such memories.
As best man, you might need to go.
Not a chance I'll be his best man.
I'd look forward to your speech.
I would love it. I will love it. I'll tell you what, it might not last tonight if I had done the speech. I remember my good best man.
To be fair, you'd be the expert at that, no lasting the night.
No. I could give him advice where to sleep.
Good chance for Kilmarnock. There's a ball in behind from Brad Lyons to Matty Kennedy, just on that right hand side. Goalkeeper hesitates a bit. Kennedy can't quite dink him from the angle. Hibs, for a while this season, Roger, looked like they would have goalkeeping problems, real goalkeeping problems. Jordan Smith done better though than I think people expected. They've given him a new contract. Is he the man to sort of stay in and be Hibs long term number one? That maybe that's still up in the air, but they did give him that new contract, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, through to 2028, which I thought was a bit generous. I'm not quite sold in Jordan Smith yet. He did perform well at Celtic Park in the Cup last week. He's getting at the right time, just as they were embarking on this remarkable run, this best run since 1949 or whatever it is. But Joseph Bursick will go back to his parent club in the summer. I would expect David Gray to sign a goalie. I would expect him to sign a number one, and Jordan Smith might need to go back to the bench.
You're nodding, Ross McCormack.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I played with Jordan on his own loan at Nottingham Forest. Decent goalkeeper, but for me probably not at the level which Hibs will be looking at. So I would have to agree with that. They will be looking for a number one, but they're hard to come by.
It's only about 1.5 inches taller than you.
I think my hands are bigger as well. That's the problem.
Well, we certainly know what else is bigger.
Huddersfield are 3 up. There you go.
Huddersfield's lead.
I love it. Huddersfield. Right, we can scrub that.
Imagine someone's just tuned in going, why on earth are they focusing so much on this Huddersfield
We're
result?
now become West Brom fans, just to let you know.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because there are no goals in Scotland yet in the Premiership or the Championship. Mark Wilson and his colleagues need to get their finger out. Partick Thistle 0, Ayr 0.
I was surprised in that because there's a lot of tight games there. You can go right down that fixture list. A lot of tight games. I don't think it'll be a 3 or a 4-0 this afternoon. I think it'll be very close. 2-1s, 2-2 draws. I think the boys will get goals, because if it's not, it's got to be a boring half time listening to them try to make that up. But I still think we'll get goals.
Actually, it was a good start at Fir Park, says Fraser Wishart, but it has now become a bit scrappy. So Motherwell looking to follow up that good win against Rangers last time out before the cup break, if you can call it that. And of course St Mirren got their own good result at Ibrox, Roger. And sometimes it must be difficult to pitch yourself against the Celtic side, because St Mirren conceded 5 goals and lost the game. They actually played pretty well. You know, it's not a performance that they would come away from feeling negative about themselves.
Actually, I covered both games for Super Scoreboard, Gordon, and St Mirren were as good against Celtic as they were against Rangers. And that sounds ridiculous because, you know, they win 2-0 at Ibrox and then lose 5 at home to Celtic, but they caused Celtic real problems. Olasanya had a couple of chances at 0-0. There was that penalty claim, Alistair Johnson going in. It could have been a penalty, offered St Mirren a chance to go 3-3. Then you never really know what's going to happen at that stage. But they are playing well. I was just going to ask you guys, Motherwell, surely the top 6 is in your own hands though, with the fixtures that you've got. You know, today get home to St Mirren, and then 3 other games, Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and Hearts. They wouldn't terrify you.
Well, it's officially in their hands, isn't it? Because they're in 6th at the moment, but
injuries.
But also every team then says that, because I was actually thinking about Kilmarnock. I was looking at Kilmarnock's fixtures, and you know, top 6 is a bit further away for them, but
they have to go to Celtic, don't they?
They do at the end, but you know, they play Hibs today and St Mirren and Motherwell, and these are all games, Gordon, that you just
and they can win
feel
them.
like there's much between the sides.
I totally agree. I'll be interesting in the next 3 or 4 games to see who actually makes that top 6. Someone will come out the pack that would be surprised with. Look, see if Ross County had to get a result today. I wouldn't put it by them.
What 1 month? It's 1 month ago today, and bearing in mind there has been a cup card in there, maybe even more than one. Yeah, has there been 2 cup cards since then? Anyway, a month ago today, Motherwell lost 3-0 at home to Ross County. You know, and we were saying probably in a real relegation scrap. By the way, they followed that up with a defeat away at Tannadice as well, but I think the scale of the Ross County one was quite a bad one. And you know, it's just back-to-back wins. That's all it was. It's the Dundee and the Rangers win puts a totally different complexion on the season.
But if you balance it off, you're correct in what you're saying, but if you balance it off, you're looking at the fixtures, you're thinking, right, 3 points against Ross County because we're not going to get anything Ibrox.
Sure.
And it totally reversed itself. And you're correct in what you're saying. You just cannot predict the results and teams up and down this league this year.
Roger, remind us of your teaser. It's very difficult. I'm not sure how many we're going to get.
I'll give you a couple of times again, because it took me a moment to get my head around it. Can you name the last 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game since season 2017-18? I'll repeat, can you name the previous 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game since 2017-18?
I mean, it's quite a lot, but give us some names, throw some in there, try and get all 7. Let's see if we can make some progress on there. Partick Thistle 1, Ayr United 0. The Mark Wilson masterclass continues. It helps when you've got Logan Chalmers doing his bit, Roger Hannah, for the 2nd consecutive game.
Former Ayr United winger scoring again. Terrific goal he scored against Queen's Park at Hampden on Tuesday night. He is bang on form, and he's crediting the birth of his young son for a return to form. We just hope it has the same effect in Gordon.
I was going to say, how does that work? So you don't get any sleep, but it makes you play better on the football field.
It makes you want to stay out longer, keep the game, enjoy yourself,
train harder,
do a cool down. I'll tell you what, Ayr United need to be careful here, because I fancied them. See, when I watched Ayr United against Hibs in the Cup, I know they lost 1-0. Is that correct?
Yeah, on Rocky Bashir.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the squad, everything about them. I thought they looked strong, thought they had good players in good positions, but they're starting to just lose a bit of ground. And Falkirk are at Queen's Park this afternoon, so you would imagine that they would pick up 3 points there. So Ayr United need to get their finger out, because I would hate to be still the most successful manager.
I think the games against each other will sort it all out. I think there's a few Friday night fixtures coming up. I think Ayr have got Falkirk at Somerset Park. I think Ayr have to go to Livy as well. So those games will be the deciding factor in it all. But listen, the top three are cemented in to the playoffs. I think, you know, they're 13 points clear of Thistle. Thistle are the ones that really need the results.
There's a big goal, Gordon.
Oh, it's a huge goal at the top and bottom of the Championship. Airdrie 1, Livingston 0. Dean McMaster with the goal.
What a day this could be for Falkirk.
Yeah, but they're still 0-0.
A few nervy people in Dunfermline this afternoon after a performance last night and seeing Airdrie going ahead.
That's a great point, because I think everyone had Airdrie dead and buried, didn't they?
Be a remarkable escape. If Rhys McCabe, having retained the support of that Airdrie board during that dreadful start to the season, if he could somehow get them out of this predicament, what a job that would be.
Busiest man in Scottish football, Brian Graham, was the assister of the Logan Chalmers goal. He's the one that set it up. So Mark Wilson in the dugout on his own. Do you think he's got his stopwatch?
Oh, he's got his stopwatch.
He feels
it's the first thing. A stopwatch and a whistle for training.
He feels vindicated because he saw Jose Mourinho with a stopwatch the other night.
Yeah, see, when I think about it, I think he's away with my boots. He borrowed a pair of boots off of me, and I've never seen them since.
Do you think he'll have that stopwatch and whistle down the aisle? Time and everything.
Exactly.
Well, Mark Wilson,
there you go.
where's your boots?
Yeah. On my life, right? He needed a pair of boots, and I says to him, well, I've got a pair that's never been used. From
1984.
No, from my training days. I didn't use, and I gave him them, and I have never seen them since.
Puma Kings. You're a Puma Kings,
I'd like
man.
to know what kind
no,
they were.
I bet he's getting married in a Partick Thistle tracksuit. I hear. We're all in Brecon tracksuits.
Because he gave the Brecon one away.
No, we have to get the Brecon ones.
What was your boot of choice, Ross McCormack, a man who scored many goals in the English Championship and beyond?
Oh God, I think I've probably worn nearly every pair. I think
Adidas Copas.
No, he was a flash player, this guy.
Adidas Copas were a bit. All the good players wore Adidas World Cups at the beginning
and the early 90s.
Copas.
No, I
he
think
played recently.
Copas, I've got something in my head about Copas. You wear them once, and if they're wet, they stretch about 2 sizes.
Nah, that's nonsense.
They're hopeless, them boots. I was towards the end. I was just Predators, to be honest.
Never mind the type. What about the colour? What colour did you wear?
He's a white boots man.
Just whatever the latest colour was. Really.
What was the most outrageous?
I had a pair of pink Predators when I was at Central Coast Mariners. Shocking they were.
If you're whacking in free kicks from everywhere, you can get away with that, though. It's all about how you back it up. Queen of the South 2, Alloa 0. Liam Smith has doubled Queen's advantage.
Wishart wore Diodora. Nobody had ever heard of him. He only needed him for a throw-in to steady himself, didn't he?
Can any of yous name the make that Paulo Di Canio used to wear when he was at Celtic? Remember that he scored the goal free kick at Aberdeen?
Pantoforodoros.
That's the one. Yes.
I might have got that slightly wrong.
No, that's right.
I would like to have seen Gordon Dale pronounce it. I knew it as well, but I was hoping one of you would take it on. Airdrie 1, Livy 1. It's short-lived. There you go. Scrap everything you were saying about the top and the bottom of the table. Robbie Muirhead has equalised for Livy. 25 minutes gone. That was him that had that interesting goal celebration a few weeks ago
at Somerset Park. Scored from 35 yards, free kick, the 96th minute, and probably as a former Kilmarnock man, enjoyed his celebration in front of the main stand.
We enjoyed it, alright.
I didn't see it. Did he milk it? Did he? I take it.
Stop it, please stop it.
What? I honestly, on my life, I didn't see it.
You genuinely didn't mean that turn of phrase there.
You have discussed it in this show.
No, I have not.
You absolutely have.
Oh, right, sorry.
I've got a big goal for Park.
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
Goes to the visitors, and it is Caelan Boyd Munce. Just around 25 minutes on the clock, 20 yards out. It's a big deflection, so a huge slice of luck. I don't think he or Stephen Robinson or the travelling fans will care, because it's Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1.
Huge goal for St Mirren. Huge goal in the context of the top section. You said at the top of the show, a couple of real 6-pointers. Motherwell, St Mirren, Hearts, Ross County, if St Mirren were going to get back into this picture and make it 3 in a row in terms of top 6 finishes, this was a crucial game for them this afternoon. They've got a breakthrough,
and it's close.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Firstly, VAR is checking offside at Fir Park, so we'll take a look there. But Hearts have taken the lead. Hearts won, Ross County nil. Elton Kabangu, he started on fire on the goal scoring hunt. He maybe dropped ever so slightly, but he's poked one through the keeper's legs after great work by Benny Beningame, and Hearts lead Ross County by 1-0.
Yeah, been a good signing, Roger. Eh?
Oh, he's been terrific. This is the first of these data analysis signings he's come in from USG. USG, of course, a subsidiary club to Tony Bloom's Brighton. Tony Bloom's Jameson Analytics are the side that Hearts are using to bring these signings in. So if they all make the impact of Elton Kabangu, they'll be doing well. And Benny Beningame signed long ago from Everton. He's coming back into a rich form just at the right time.
Another goal.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Now it's all happening. Hibs have taken the lead at Kilmarnock. So it is Martin Boyle, in that an awful corner from Kilmarnock, and then Martin Boyle making them pay. Levitt on the counter-attack. Martin Boyle in a rich vein of form in recent months, and he scores again.
Well, what's he wearing when he's scoring, Gordon?
What do you mean?
Sorry?
You were telling me earlier on that a rival show had been debating what Martin
sleeps
Boyle
in. I did see that
in.
driving in, that's right. But he has scored. There was only one back for Kilmarnock, and Hibs sort of broke a 3v1. That'll
pace
frustrate Derek McInnes, won't it?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you look at Hibs and their success climbing from the bottom of the league. Boyle's been massive in that. He really has. Partick Thistle.
That's good news for Partick Thistle.
Good news for us.
Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0. Luke Macbeth
dreadful news
with the goal. Roger,
these will be Martin Boyle's final weeks as a Hibs player. I would expect him to leave the club in the summer. He's the highest paid player at Easter Road by probably the length of Princes Street. They have just announced losses of £7 million, in excess of £7 million. I would think Martin Boyle would depart the club, and I would expect his next club will be in Australia. He's an Aussie international. He's never hidden his desire to go there at some stage in his career.
How old?
Oh, will it be early 30s maybe, Martin? Yeah, I would have thought so. I would expect him to go in the summer to Oz, but if he can fire the goals that get Hibs third place in this league, he will go with everyone's good wishes.
Kilmarnock are really struggling, isn't it?
And it's interesting that the way Gordon described the goal, one left at the back. The night they went 2-0 up against Rangers, I thought they would lock the game down. Derek McInnes, for 10 years as a manager, more than 10 years, has expertise at locking games down, and Rangers ran right through them. Scored 4 goals. It sounds as if Hibs have taken that up this afternoon.
Still a bit of football to go. Let's not get carried away here. But I said that we would get goals. It was a slow start to this afternoon, but the boys are welcome the goals now and the excitement. And that's a massive goal for Hibs. Kilmarnock need a big response.
Yeah, now we've got real interesting stories on our hands. Maybe you would have expected Hearts to take the lead, an even game at Fir Park, but it's St Mirren who go in front, and Hibs down there at Rugby Park as well.
What's happening with your pal? He's done it again, hasn't he?
Who?
Wishart's got a goal. Callum's got a goal down the road. Gabs has got a goal in Edinburgh. What about the postie?
Tactical genius.
What about the postie? What's happened?
The hosey.
St Johnstone nil, Aberdeen nil. Come on, David.
He'll get the tactics board out. Did you hear him? Oh yeah, I really thought Rangers looked good when they went to back 4. Somebody probably had to tell him that.
Somebody's not taking it well that Mark Wilson's now the tactical mastermind on Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Out there doing great things. Got Thistle 2-0 up against Ayr.
He is. I've got to take my hat off to him. I doubted him because I'd watched his ability at Ayr and it wasn't too promising. But he's certainly went on there and he's doing very well indeed. Him and Brian Graham. It's quite a good partnership that. See, the two of them working together, one on the field, one at the side. It seems to be working so far.
Ross, you won't have heard this, so it's worth repeating. I have said it to the listeners before, but my favourite piece of tactical relationship between those two is when we were in Germany and Mark was doing his coaching badges and he had some sort of assessment to do, and Gordon's giving it, I'll help you, I'm your mentor, I'm your guru, and he's leaning over and Mark's watching some video and he's going, what about him? keeps pointing
Get
to this
him
guy.
running.
Why is he not making the run? Mark, why is he not making the run? And it was the referee.
No chance. Mark kept going, what one? I went, him. Get him going beyond the strikers. He went, that's the referee.
Oh my God.
That's his well, he can link up. Oh, there's an Arabic goal.
Yes, Airdrie back in front. Airdrie 2, Livy 1. Ben Wilson with the goal. So in for a bit of a treat there in North Lanarkshire, Roger.
Absolutely, and that'll be a blow to Davy Martindale. They saw Livingston get out the Scottish Cup to St Johnstone on Monday night. He'd billed this as Livy's biggest game of the season. Just to bounce back from that cup disappointment, Graham Carey's wonder goal, and to get back closer to Falkirk to have a chance of winning the title. If they lose at Airdrie today, it's beginning to look a big ask.
Remind us of your teaser, please.
Here we go. Can you name the previous 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game since 2017-18 season?
Some people are getting very close here. Let's do some wrong ones. Cian Stark wants to throw in Danny Wilson.
No, I'm afraid not.
What about Kenny Miller?
No, not Kenny either.
Graham Dorrans?
No.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you some clues here because we're struggling to get full lists because it is very, very difficult. It really is hard. So let's go through them all. We said there was 7. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5. It's 5 Rangers actually. Yeah, 5 Rangers and 2 Celtic.
I'm just checking this out for you.
Yes.
1, 2, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
5 Rangers, 2 Celtic, and only 1 Scotsman on the list.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Okay. Another chance for the new Scotland call-up this time. James Wilson, ball played through by Shankland, who missed out of the squad. Keeper gets down low to make the save. I think that'll have been a sore one for Lawrence Shankland. Ross being left out of that squad.
Yeah, and I think because he's probably putting his numbers, his numbers are being put down, and he's doing that for the good of the team as well, dropping back into that number. Ideally he'd like to be playing as number 9, but for me I would just always have Shankland in the squad. But looking at it from the outside, I'm not sure Steve Clarke's such a big fan of Shankland, because even when he was scoring all them goals, he wasn't really getting much minutes for Scotland.
Do you think now at Shankland, his age, wants to be that centre forward? Because I think he looks so comfortable playing in that number 10 role. I think he's a clever player, and Hearts have started climbing the league, the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. I think Shankland's been a big part of that. Unfortunately for him,
is he not there though to accommodate Elton Kabangu and James Wilson as well,
and then maybe add more goals to his game? But I just think he's such a clever player, and I think he's a big part of what they're trying to do. Look, he scored all the goals last season, and the minute you do that, people then they forget about what you contribute to the game. They just look at how many goals they scored this season. Oh, he must have had a poor season. Listen, Shankland's not had a poor season. Shankland's a very, very good player. Unfortunately for him with Scotland, if he's got to drop a bit deeper, I think we've got so many good players there that can play that role.
These guys, they gather tomorrow, the Scotland squad, they gather in Glasgow. Lennon Miller and James Wilson, 18 years of age, will go into that squad for the first time. What was it like? What was it like when you first went in?
I've got to be honest with you, it was very nerve-wracking. You're walking in there and you've got guys like Scott Brown, Barry Ferguson, who've seen it all, done it, won everything, even Alan McGregor at that period in time. I was nervous, but at the same time you've got to back yourself. Now, not back yourself and be loud round about the camp and stuff, but back your ability on the pitch. You're there for a reason. These guys have been chosen for a reason. Steve Clarke thinks they're good enough, and he's given them a platform to go and show that. So I think there'll be a lot of excitement there, but I think the nerves will be there too.
This is always the weekend where you look out, Roger, and cross your fingers that everyone comes through it fit, first of all, because there's hold on, we've got another goal.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2, and it's Killian Phillips. St Mirren now very much in the driving seat. They deserve their lead, and they have doubled it. Killian Phillips has, of course, played for Aberdeen last season. He scored against Celtic recently. I think scored against Motherwell, a really impressive goal previously, and this one as well, a spectacular finish. 16 yards, kind of sat up nicely, a hitch kick according to Fraser Wishart. And it is 2-0 to St Mirren.
He's done well in that loan spell. He plays in the right of the three, and that's central midfield for St Mirren. You're trying to work out who plays in the sort of left centre midfield for Motherwell, who's probably having to pick him up.
I know, you need to figure that one out.
The captain, the skipper.
I'll ask somebody in Monday night.
Not today.
Is he not?
Stephen O'Donnell's back.
Oh, Stephen O'Donnell's back, is he? That's a big blow for
Maybe
Motherwell.
that's where Motherwell are going wrong. The skipper.
Yeah,
got the armband at Ibrox.
Maybe he's in a huff. But 2-0. They need the next goal.
Sounds a bit like the goal Phillips scored against Celtic actually a
What's
couple
a
of weeks
hitch
ago.
kick? What's a hitch kick?
Don't try it.
What is that? A sort of a.
Aye, I mean this is radio and that doesn't really work.
Yeah,
but kind of what you just
as long as I know what it is, I'm not really interested.
Don't do that again either.
Sound effect.
Did you hear the hip going there?
Got another goal at Fir Park.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
A place for entertainment. Callum Slattery pulls one back immediately for Motherwell, so it's now Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2. Gordondale did say they really needed the next goal, which was clearly the case. A volley low to the keeper's right from 20 yards, another good goal, and game on, because that was turning pretty ugly for Motherwell midway through the first half. But Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2.
Sounds as if Fraser's got a game of the day at Fir Park. And listen, if you're going to lose 2 goals, lose them early. It gives you the opportunity to get back in. Callum Slattery's been playing well since he's been back in the team. A year out of the team, he must have had doubts whether he would get back to the levels he was at before, but very quickly he's having an influence in that Motherwell team again. And when Michael Vimmer gets them in at half time, he will be telling them that they can get something out of this game.
Less than a minute between the goals, Ross. Does that, see, as a pro, does that have you tearing your hair out? So if you're an attacker, as an example, and you do your bit and you score, and then your team concedes within a minute, how frustrating is that?
Yeah, I mean, you get into a 2-0 lead and you think, right, okay, let's get through to half time, and then you'll have a good chance in the second half. But to concede right away, they'll probably be putting the back foot now for the last 10 minutes of the first half. It is, it'll be frustrating, but I think St Mirren would probably expected Motherwell to probably get a goal at some point. But like I just fancy St Mirren. Actually, when you said it went scrappy in the first half, I actually fancied them a little bit more. I thought that would suit St Mirren.
Great time to get back in a game, innit? You don't want that to go 10 minutes, getting a half time 2-0. All of a sudden it gives you that lift, gives the supporters a lift, gives the players a lift, everything. That was an important goal. It really was. I had to get it quickly.
I've just had the most bizarre text from a pal saying, I'm listening to the show, can you ask Ross McCormack if he's ever assisted a goal for Usain Bolt?
His first ever goal, I did, Jess. So weird, isn't it?
Where was that?
It was on trial for about 3 months at Central Coast Mariners.
Were you over there as well?
Yeah.
You've been everywhere, haven't you?
That's where I was wearing my pink Predators. And by the way,
I'm glad you're listening.
I just switch off.
I've got an even stranger one actually. This show must be going all over the world. Someone who listens in Saudi has just sent me, he's listening to the show, and he sent me the owner of Pantofolodoro's number. I reckon we could get you a free pair of boots.
Imagine you with the gold ones, the old Decanio, gold Decanio boots to replace the ones Mark Wilson stolen from you.
I would probably trade them. Ask him if he does golf clubs.
Can you imagine he got asked to do the advert? They'd need 1,500 takes before they could pronounce and make of the boots.
What is that viral video again? You ever seen it? The two, it's like the old American couple, and they're trying to say some sort of product and they can't. No, you're looking at me blankly.
The only two I remember are Mark Wilson
over and over again.
Mark Wilson doing the Hendrick Vets.
That was brilliant.
And Christopher from Ayrshire and Big Bob's Mattresses in Portland.
That's right.
The best bit about that was the following day I played golf with Mark, and he was saying to me, listen here, I need to speak to you. I says, what is it? He says, I'm doing all these adverts for Radio Clyde. Do you think I should ask for more money? I says, fill your boots, get in there and chat the doors.
Is Usain Bolt the most famous person you've ever met then?
Oh, of course.
Unbelievable. I've actually been fortunate enough to play with some big players, your John Terrys, Barry Fergusons, people like that, but that was something different over there. That was a different level of celebrity. I mean, we were walking to lunch one day after training, and by the time we'd got across the road, there must have been about 250 people who'd actually crossed over the other side of the road just to walk behind Usain Bolt.
Was he any good?
He was quick.
I may as well say he was hopeless.
He was quick.
Yeah. Do you know what? He was trialling as a centre forward. So just to give you an indication, you do crossing and finishing drills. He actually get moved to left wing back so he could use his pace up the line.
Just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Get out of the way of the ball.
Yeah.
I actually remember that. See, when he came for the Commonwealth Games in 2014, that's kind of how I think I went to a press conference or something, and I think, they talk about aura, don't they? And you always think, like, what does that really mean? Once you get to that level of worldwide fame, they just carry themselves a bit different, don't they?
Yeah, he's an absolute superstar. He's got some good stories as well, I must admit. I can't tell them on. I can't tell any of them on air, but he definitely does. Yes,
even more than a Dazzler.
I'll need to check your career. I don't really know much.
Intrigued?
I'm not really. I don't really know that much about
I'm
you.
not surprised. You don't know much about your own career. You're not going to know much about his.
By the way, I didn't know he played at Forest. That was new to me. In fact, I didn't. I was going to say to Gordon, can you remember him being at Motherwell? Because I can't remember you being at Motherwell.
That's silly though.
I don't.
He was a top Motherwell player.
In
a good team.
Who's the manager?
Mark McGee. First time.
Oh, right. I can't remember it. Honestly, I'm not kidding on. I can't remember you.
Glad he's here for his insight though. On a Saturday afternoon. Roger, remind us of your teaser again. We'll round it off in a couple of minutes.
Round it off shortly before half time. Last chance. Can you name the previous 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game?
I don't think
since 2017-18.
I don't think we've got any.
What else?
We've got them
can
all
I tell
right.
You? I wouldn't have got some of them.
But people are getting really close though. So let me have a wee look and see if we can tweak one or two.
Do you want some clues?
I mean, as an example, Blair, Maitland. No, I think Blair might have them all. Yeah, I think Blair might have them. That looks pretty close.
A good shout, Blair, if you have.
Pretty close to me. It's certainly when he's given it a second attempt, because he's taken Kenny Miller out. Michael Donati wanted to put Craig Gordon in there. He's not in it, is he?
No.
Is there a goalkeeper in there though?
There is not a goalie in there. Let me just know there's not.
Okay.
Just looking at that English Premier League. Ipswich 0, Forest 3 before half time. George Hurst on the bench for Ipswich.
He's keeping himself fresh.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was heading north in the next 24 or 36 hours.
I think he'll get added to the squad over the weekend.
I think he will. FIFA have ratified his change of international allegiance, shall we say. FA in England have cleared it all. I would think he'd be added.
Is that Jeff Hurst's son?
It's Jeff Hurst's son, yeah, as you incorrectly guessed. How old did we say Jeff Hurst was again?
Oh, he well into his 80s.
83 or something. And no, it is David Hurst's boy George, and it looks like he will join up with the Scotland squad. There's a good chance, according to Roger Hanna's prediction, that will happen in the next day or two.
What about this Forest team, Ross? A slightly better Forest team than you played in. Third in the Premier League, heading for the Champions League.
Flying, yeah. I think that back to front they're just so hard to beat. But and also they're scoring goals at a good rate too. Chris Wood is probably, how many's he got? What?
I know, he's
this
been
season
incredible.
In the Premier League. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You would never have seen it coming. You look at some of the players that are in the team, and not being disrespectful, but you wouldn't class them as top Premier League players. So to do what they're doing, what are they, third in the Premier League still? It's ridiculous.
You're talking about Jeff Hurst. He's unfortunate he wasn't in the England squad yesterday, the way Thomas Tuchel was naming him. Steve Clarke goes for the kids, Thomas Tuchel goes for the OAPs.
We always hear in this country, you couldn't do it this week because all of a sudden James Wilson, Lennon Miller was in the previous squads, Ben Doak, so there has been a youthful feel to it. But we are so quick to batter Scotland squads when there's a kind of backwards look about them. I thought, what would the equivalent be of Jordan Henderson getting called up? Because they've got so many young good options.
Yeah,
and they've gone. That was a real surprise.
Jordan
wasn't
Henderson, Dan Byrne at 32, Marcus Rashford back in the squad, Kyle Walker in the squad in his 30s as well. A quite remarkable squad.
Well, there's a big goal in the Championship. Queen's Park 0, Falkirk 1. Liam Henderson just before the break.
This could be the day for Falkirk. Ayr losing, Livy losing. If the Bairns hold on and win at Hampden, 9 points clear.
That'd be enough.
I would think that would be enough.
Yeah.
I would think. And listen, John McGlynn has done a fantastic job there, and you just wonder, on and off the field, the importance of that Scott Arfield signing in January, just to see them over the line.
Yeah, he's been terrific for him, and you've got to say, I'd love to see Falkirk coming up. I like the way they play football. I like the way he adapts to. He's not a long ball player. He gets the ball down. He's got good players in the middle of the park. I think you're right. Arfield getting in there, that bit of experience can still contribute a lot. Of course he can. So this could be a big afternoon. You're right.
Just won in League 2 first half time. Bonnyrigg 0, Stirling 1. Their own goal from young Gallagher Lennon, Neilson on loan from St Mirren. I think he's been doing really well at Bonnyrigg. I think he's been enjoying it. Comes back and trains with St Mirren through the week. Big career ahead of him, but a difficult afternoon for him. And Bonnyrigg, bottom of League 2, they could be in bother.
Just quickly scanning through the last few years in my mind, we've not had any come up and go back down yet, have we?
No, I don't think so. Not since,
so they'd be looking
not
to
since the
be,
pyramid was introduced.
They'd be looking to avoid that unwanted piece of history, because there's usually, or there has been a feeling that once you go up, you kind of stay, and once you go down, you stay down. Similarly, Cowdenbeath, and nowhere near coming back up. Albion Rovers, teams like that,
they'll feel a degree of injustice given that they're bottom of the league because of the points penalty for the slope in the pitch.
That is very true. Right, I think we're in a position to round this off just before the break.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Can you name the previous 7 vice or stand-in captains to lead their side out in an Old Firm game since 2017-18? They are Nico Raskan, January 2 this year; Cameron Carter-Vickers, the 3-3 draw last season; Stephen Davis, a 1-0 win for Rangers in 2021; Connor Goldson led them out twice when James Tavernier was out in the Rangers title winning season; Callum McGregor, who was still vice captain when Scott Brown missed out in that same season; James Tavernier, who captained the Rangers once in a derby before being officially Rangers captain; and Bruno Alves in a 0-0 draw at Celtic Park in December 2017.
Please cut me some slack here. I think there are seconds between these, and it kind of depends how you refresh and what order they show up in. I do think Igaman Prop got there first. Michael Donati, I think, was just behind Cian Stark. So forgive me, right? You can all appeal to the Olympic Committee and see which order your medals are in. I think Igaman gets the gold. I think Cian Stark pipped Michael Donati to second. But well done to the three of you, right? Because it was a tough one and not many people got it all right. You did, and we'll have a Who Am I a bit later on. We have a half-time whistle in the capital at Tynecastle. Here's Gabriel.
Yeah, it's 1-0 Hearts over Ross County here. Elton Kabungu with his 8th of the season halfway through the first 45, giving the hosts a deserving advantage. They were level in the opening exchanges between the two teams, but Hearts started to get a grip of the game around the 20-minute mark and got their opener not long after. Great work by Benny Beningame in midfield. He's been Hearts' driving force, slipped the ball through to the striker Kamangu, who toe-poked it through the on-rushing goalkeeper's legs. James Wilson then had a chance to make his dream week even better after captain Lawrence Shankland rolled him through, but it wasn't the cleanest of strikes back across goal, with Amisa in goal getting down low to make a decent save. There's been plenty of good link-up between Blair Spittle and James Penrice down this left flank just in front of me in the Tynecastle sunshine, but they've just not been able to find the final ball. Phillips has looked a bit of a threat on the counter for County, but other than a couple of corners, they've offered very little, and they need to show a lot more going forward if they are to get something from this game, Gordon. Hearts in control, but County still in it, and it would be a huge 3 points in a bid for the top 6. At the interval, it's Hearts 1, County 0.
And it's also half-time at McDermott Park. Here is David Friel.
Half-time, Gordon, St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0. Strange game this, to be honest with you. Aberdeen have played the better football, but St Johnstone have definitely had the best chances. Mackenzie Kirk and Adama Sidibe will both feel they could have done better with openings. Kevin Nisbet's been carrying most of the danger for Aberdeen, but they've really lacked a cutting edge once again. Both sides of the goal from the start. St Johnstone had that first chance in 10 minutes. Jason Holt won the ball in midfield. There was claims of a foul, and Aberdeen might have had a point, but he kept playing. He slipped a pass to Mackenzie Kirk. He looked certain to score, but Dimitar Mitov made a terrific save to deny him. Aberdeen keeper then saved low from Dre Wright. It was an 18-yard shot. But St Johnstone were really just hitting the break. Aberdeen had most of the ball, playing some nice stuff, but never really created any clear-cut chances. They finally tested Andy Fisher in 19 minutes. Kevin Nisbet flicked the ball up for himself, great skill, and then sent a volley straight at the St Johnstone keeper. In the next attack, Nisbet peeled over at the angle of the box and got a Cullen shot away, but that was also saved by Andy Fisher. Aberdeen, as I said, have continued to put pressure on, playing nice football, but St Johnstone have defended really, really well. And Adama Sidibe just before half-time had a shot hacked away just off the line after good work from Sam Curtis, created space. All to play for here. Half-time, St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0.
Well, can hope for better in front of goal for David Friel in the second half. I think we've also got a half-time whistle at Rugby Park. Let's speak to Callum Brown.
Yeah, 1-0 Hibs here at half time. Gordon Martin Boyle's 25th minute strike the difference between the sides at the break. Nothing really between them though. Plenty of mistakes made in possession by both, and not a lot of clear-cut chances barring the goal. In saying that though, if Bobby Wales had managed to get on the end of a Marley Watkins ball across the 6-yard box inside 2 minutes, it could have been a different story. The young striker just couldn't get there on the stretch. As I say, mistakes have been a theme of the first half. On 12 minutes, a ball in behind from Brad Lyon sent Matty Kennedy in behind on the right hand side. Jordan Smith hesitated in coming out, but Matty Kennedy couldn't dink him from a tight angle, the ball running out of play. Halfway through the first half, Junior Hoylett came closest to finding an opener. He made a half-yard of space on the edge of the box after beating Joe Wright, but he curled one just over the bar. And then on the 25th minute, that Hibs opener, a classic defence to attack move, a corner from Kilmarnock's Matty Kennedy, short to the edge of the box to Danny Armstrong. It looked a good opening as he was free on the edge, but his shot was blocked. The ball broke kindly to Dylan Levitt, who sprinted forward with the ball. It turned out to be a 3 versus 1 counter with only Corey and Daba back for Kilmarnock. Levitt then, as he drove forward just towards the edge of the box, slipped Martin Boyle in behind. He finished beyond McCrory despite a touch from the goalkeeper, but really a goal from nothing and a gift to Hibs. Kelly shooting themselves in the foot. Right on half time as well, a ball into the box on the second phrase from a corner found Nectar Triantis on the edge of the box, but he volleyed narrowly wide of the far post. All to play for in this second half, but Kilmarnock 0, Hibs 1 at the break.
And it looks like game of the day for Fraser Wishart at Fir Park. Take it away, Fraser.
Yeah, it's been a good one so far. Gordon Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2. Been a 45 minutes where there's always something happening. Been a physical game as well. 3 goals which have given St Mirren a deserved 2-1 half-time lead in only just a minute in the clock. Really good chance for Motherwell. A long ball over the top. Alex Gogic running on to, under pressure from Luke Plange. Was he fouled or did he slip? Tom Sparrow didn't wait. He latched onto the loose ball and lobbed it over the goalkeeper into the top of the net. VR might have had a look. I think if he had scored, 6-minute first effort from St Mirren. Johnny Young, a lovely pass in behind Ryan Alibiosu was in and an angle, fired his shot over the bar when he should have at least made the goalkeeper make a save. Ayunga and Olasanya causing the Motherwell defence real problems with their pace and power. St Mirren with the better of the game. Number of corners, one from Declan John wasn't cleared, that caused a scramble and was headed off the line by Dan Casey, but that only delayed the opener by a couple of minutes. 24 minutes deserved opener for St Mirren. Olasanya got in behind again. He looked as if he could shoot himself, but he delayed. Was the chance gone? But he turned and he set up Boyne Munster from 20 yards, hit a left foot shot, took a huge deflection. Nothing Ellery Balcombe can do. He was diving one way, the ball went the other way into the corner of the net. Motherwell hadn't really threatened since that first minute. Sparrow chance, fans beginning to show their frustration, and the frustration got worse in 34 minutes. 2-0 to St Mirren. The Motherwell defence didn't clear Declan John cross. It bounced nicely 16 yards out for Kieran Phillips, and he hit a left foot hitch kick, struck it really well into the bottom corner of the net past Ellery Balcombe's dive. It was trouble for Motherwell at this stage, but they did get a goal back almost straight from kick-off. The ball fell to Callum Slattery, who's first onto a loose ball 20 yards out. Really good finish by the midfield player. He hit it well. It was a controlled volley low into the corner to the keeper's right. Ex-Saints keeper Ellery Balcombe then heaved a sigh of relief. He missed an O'Hara corner. The ball hit Alex Gogic in the head. He didn't know much about it, but the ball only went a couple of inches wide. And then just before the half-time whistle, New Scotland man Lennon Miller had a good chance in stoppage time. Good control from a driven Thompson cross, but he fired over under pressure from Marcus Fraser. Motherwell really haven't created enough in the first half. Michael Bivens want better. St Mirren have been good though, but Stephen Robinson, I think, will be very aware the next goal will be vital to the outcome of this game. Half time at Fir Park, Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2.
The fastest goals, the expert opinions. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time scores across the country. Let's start with the Premiership. Hearts 1, Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, Hibs 1, Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2, and St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0. In the Championship, Airdrie 2, Livingston 1, Hamilton Accies 0, Morton 0, Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 0, Falkirk 1. Into Scottish League 1, Arbroath 1, Dumbarton 0, Inverness 0, Annan Athletic 1, Montrose 0, Cove 0, Queen of the South 2, Alloa Athletic 1, and Stenhousemuir 0, Kelty Hearts 0. In League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Stirling Albion 1, East Fife 0, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 2, Clyde 0, Forfar 0, the Spartans 0, and Peterhead 0, Edinburgh City 0. We'll finish with the English Premier League at the break. It's Everton 0, West Ham 0, Ipswich 0, Nottingham Forest 3, Man City 2, Brighton 1, and Southampton 0, Wolves 1. We will be back for the second halves next.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Audi. The fully electric Q4 is now available on Motability. Discover it today.
With AI, if you can think it, you can make it. But so can cybercriminals. Norton VPN Ultimate helps protect you and your family. Combining advanced online privacy protection with AI-powered scam detection so you can live your best digital life. Today's online privacy threats have met their match. Search Norton VPN Ultimate for a fast and reliable VPN that keeps you safer online.
Fáilte, I'm Cynneach MacLeod, the Hebridean baker. Originally from the Isle of Lewis, I'm an author, TV presenter and travel blogger.
And I'm Natalie Galloway, a singer-songwriter from Fife.
Together, we're the perfect guides to the very best things to do, see, eat and enjoy on your next adventure to the incredible islands off the west coast of Scotland.
Welcome to Scottish Island Adventures.
The longest successful points kick in international rugby history was 70 yards, 8.5 inches. That's nothing. The new Volkswagen ID7 Tourer has a range of up to 424 miles. That's 746,240 yards. It's got the distance. Volkswagen ID7 Tourer. Miles better. ID7 Tourer official test range 358 to 424 miles when fully charged depending on trim. May not reflect real-life driving.
The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time interval across the country will be starting to get underway in the next minute or two. I think we still got a break yet. Fraser Wishart, you were one of the last to finish.
Yeah, we're still at break. The players are not out yet. The subs are warming up as always, looking so interested in the game, just kicking the ball to each other. But I have to say that Motherwell goal has really changed the whole perspective of this game, because it's 2-0 down in 34 minutes. They were out of the game. St Mirren had dominated the game, looked dangerous. Olasanya, his running power in behind. Ayunga as a target man. Motherwell defence just couldn't cope with it, and I don't think Motherwell had any more chances except for that one in the first minute from Sparrow. So that finish by Callum Slack, really good finish. You've seen it on television, controlled finish, as was Killian Phillips. Two really good goals from the edge of the box, but that's given Motherwell a chance of getting back into this game, because if they'd gone in at 2-0 down, the way the game had gone, I don't think there was any way back. So it's game on here, and the next goal will be absolutely vital. I think whoever gets it then I think can perhaps go on and win it.
Neither manager going for the bench at the break, going to give it the old 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I think 10-15 minutes. I think Michael Wimmer was very animated. I saw him at Tannadice when his first game, and he wasn't quite as animated. He was jumping up and down. He was up and down the track here at Fir Park as well, trying to get his team going. But there's been no changes in the team come out, I don't think. But I think certainly from Motherwell's point of view, you know, they've got some options on the bench in an attacking sense that they might look to within the first 15-20 minutes if they don't get a goal back quickly.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get your essential medicines and vaccines before you head off on holiday.
Well, let's say we're set up nicely for the second half. Roger, Hannah, we've got some goals, we've got more to come hopefully, particularly in the game at McDermott Park, but all finely poised, so plenty to look forward to, we hope.
Yeah, plenty to play for. We knew these games would be tight, as you said. A couple of 6-pointers with teams chasing that last place in the top six. As Fraser was saying there, Motherwell, they've got a foothold with that Callum Slattery goal. Ross County, the way they've been playing away from home recently, will believe they can get back into that game that Elton Cabango has given Hearts the lead in. Kelly will want to bounce back after Martin Boyle gave Hibs the lead down there. And come on, David Friel, give us a goal in Perth. Come on.
One man who listened to the halftime team talk is Hamish Ritchie of the Spartans, because they're 1 up at Forfar straight away. Hibs threatening. They've had a Martin Boyle strike saved by Robbie McCrory from the edge of the box.
Yeah, I agree with Roger. I think all teams will look at this half-time and think, right, we're still in this game. Motherwell getting that goal so early after St Mirren took the 2-0 lead, and you would imagine Kilmarnock surely at home against Hibs can at least put up a fight. You've got Hearts. I think we'd all fancy them now 1-0 up, but I agree with Roger. I think we need a goal up there, especially when you get, you know, you put out a day there at Perth for the families and everyone. You get people through the turnstiles. Try and keep the customers in, give them entertainment, give them goals, but so far nothing.
Is a point good for St Johnstone, do we think? Dundee away at Tannadice. You know, Dundee haven't won at Tannadice since 2004. 21 years since an away win in that fixture. John Sutton get the winner for Dundee back then, so it might be a big ask for them to get something at Tannadice tomorrow.
The travel does you in. Just too far, knack up by the time you get there.
That walk, it's always downhill.
I suppose if you're heading in that direction,
yeah,
it is.
It's all downhill.
You like to? I've never been to a Dundee derby.
Oh,
you liked it. The
opening weekend of this season was the first one I'd been to Tannadice, and it was amazing because the game was brilliant actually that day. If you remember, atmosphere was fantastic. Dundee United back up, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. Didn't quite enjoy the New Year one so much. It was a bit colder, a bit less eventful, but actually still when the winning goal went in, it was still quite dramatic. So yeah, good occasions. Queen of the South 3, Alloa 1, Man City 2, Brighton 2. So we're getting some goals going in other leagues. Just looking for a quick start in our Premiership. Dabags had a header wide, a glancing header for Aberdeen. It still remains. St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0. Who are your favourites to go down from this position, Ross?
I must admit I do fear for Dundee, especially if St Johnstone get anything there today. That gap is closing, and Dundee are in free fall, unfortunately. So I think it'll go right down to the wire. I think St Johnstone might just stay up.
Game after the split between them is at Perth as well. That
Massive,
sort of falls into St Johnstone's favour, doesn't it?
Massive, yes. And if you would have said that 2 months ago, that St Johnstone are going to be within, I mean, if they win today, am I correct in saying they're level in points with Dundee? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
I know,
in 2 months.
My outside one is a worry for Kilmarnock. I think Kilmarnock are playing with no confidence whatsoever. You always thought, okay, Kilmarnock will be okay because they'll get their points at Rugby Park. Teams are going down there. Hibs this afternoon leading 1-0. Unless Kilmarnock can get something back. I agree, I think St Johnstone have got a bit of character about them now. You know, the manager's brought in some good players. He's talking about entertaining football. It's about winning football for him just now. And if he can close that gap today, put a bit of pressure on Dundee and Kilmarnock, I think we'll go all the way.
County are looking a bit more threatening now. Kelly are going to make changes. They've seen enough. They've given 5 minutes. It's quite a tough school for Derek McInnes. He's given the 5 minutes. He's not seen enough. So David Watson and Liam Polworth are about to come on. Let's do the second half teaser, Roger.
Here we go, the second half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I have played with Joe Cole and Marc-Antoine Fortuné. I have been managed by Daz's pal Jose Mourinho and Lee Johnson, and I made it into a European competition's team of the season. Who am I? Give you that one more time. I have played with Joe Cole and Marc-Antoine Fortuné. I've been managed by Jose Mourinho and Lee Johnson, and I made it into a European competition's team of the season. Who am I?
I like it. Get your thinking caps on. It is a race. That race has started, so don't hang about. At Clyde SSB, give us a tweet with one name and see not only if you can get it right, but if you can beat everyone else. Throw anything out there, see what sticks. Just try and piece the clues together. Chuck us a name at Clyde SSB, and I will help you along the way eventually. Gordon DL is surprisingly, I know this may surprise you, he's usually quite good at the Who Am I's.
Because
very good.
Because I'm standing next to Roger, I would only be accused of cheating. So
have you seen the sheet today? Be honest.
No, he's got it in a text.
Okay,
I couldn't read that.
I'll write a name down. Give us a guess then.
Nah.
Ross, any of that? Don't say it out loud though.
Yeah.
People have fallen into that trap before.
I'm just trying to piece together the
information.
The first one, yeah. Fortuné and Joe Cole.
Very tricky.
I'm not often in here, as you know, on a Saturday.
Yes.
But I was quite struck, given that Daz doesn't really like anyone. Quite struck by how pally he is with his Saturday producers. You know, oh yeah, I'll get you a coffee. Oh yeah, mate. High fives. I'm just pointing out it's unusual for you to be so friendly with people.
High five. I would need to get down on my knees to see the wee man see his eyes up.
Oh, listen, I wouldn't. I would not be going down that road if I was you. On the week that we discovered that Simon Donnelly is taller than you,
No, he's not.
despite all your bravado, I made you stand next to him. We took a picture. We filmed it. He dwarfed you.
He'd big puffy trainers on, right?
What?
His hair was up to there with gel.
What height are you claiming?
I'm just under 6.
Absolute nonsense.
What are you, wee man?
Ross, had you?
I was waiting on it. Wee guy over there.
Had you left Motherwell when they played Nancy in Europe, or had you not arrived yet? I can't remember. My time frame's a bit off.
That would have
No, that's 2008. So you've just gone.
That was just season I left, I think. Yeah.
Just because that was always the first time I'd ever heard of Marc-Antoine Fortuny. He played in that game. I wondered if you were up against him, but never mind. Montrose 1, Cove 0. Blair Lions with the goal in 52 minutes. So we're getting early goals in the second half in League One.
Did you rate him as a Celtic player, Marc-Antoine Fortuny? Does?
I wasn't the best, was I? Wasn't the best. How many goals he scored?
Not many.
Can you remember him?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
you can.
I can. He was a forward, centre forward, wasn't he? Of course I can.
He was decent when he went down to West Brom, actually.
Yeah,
yeah, he was decent.
His Celtic return was fine in the league. I think he was about a 1-3 man.
Was it?
by
That's
the looks
all
of
right.
it.
That's okay.
I'm not saying he was amazing.
What's that percentage wise and beat the pundit?
Well, 33% usually is sort of 1 in 3, isn't it? But you don't understand how percentages work, so no surprise you don't know the answer to that. Did you not have a good... No, you lost in a tiebreaker this week, didn't you?
I had to freeze, didn't I? I froze.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you lost.
Couldn't get my words out, Roger.
Lost in the old tiebreaker this
I
week.
did hear Tuesday night you were remarkably supportive of Simon Donnelly and beat the pundit on Tuesday night.
Love when he gets beat.
3 in a row. 3 tiebreaker victories for the listeners this week, I think it was.
Who was on last night?
Scott Allen played.
The doctor. Who did he play?
I think he won.
Oh, listen, I think I heard that. I think he won. Could the lad not say to him he was excellent there or something? Yes.
What was one of the questions? Who was a better striker, Henrik Larsson or Michael Malls? Was that his question?
Ross has stayed quite quiet on that topic today.
I've had enough abuse over
You
that.
get
Thank
stick
you very
for that.
much. Yeah.
Look, Ross, you can always backtrack.
I'm not gonna.
No, you
I
sticking with
genuinely
it, mate.
believe that, and I said that. That's came from a guy who grew up supporting Celtic, so it's not came. I'm not just saying it for the sake of it. Michael Moles, for me, was not the same player when he came back from that injury. Hadn't he got that injury, I genuinely believe he would have been better than Henrik Larsson. Yes.
Wow, it's huge. It's
I love
absolutely
it.
huge.
I love the fact
he just sticks his neck in the line.
he's sticking to his guns, right? And I
Quite
like
right.
that, mate.
Because I thought
I'd have been backtracking by now.
Because I thought it was maybe going to be could have been as good as, but you've gone
or better.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love it.
Actually,
love the confidence.
My first goal for Rangers, I was wearing Michael Moles' boots. I weighted them firmly. I turned up, I had metal studs, but it was the plastic pitch. So Jimmy Bell gave me a pair of Michael's. He's a Copeman Dow's, actually, the ones you were talking about.
So
Was that the Dunfermline plastic pitch that was like tiles?
Yeah.
Remember that? It was like the squares all pieced together. That was
So
not
if you
great.
put all that together, if you'd have kept him, you could maybe be better, Larson.
You might have remembered my career, probably.
I've looked it up, actually. You had a good career, mate.
Even Sammy the Tammy couldn't perform in that Dunfermline pitch. Terrible.
It was awful, it really was.
Yeah, it didn't last very long, did it?
No.
Michael got sent off after about 25 minutes as well. Left me up front myself.
Well, that's good.
How's that for a debut?
Yeah. That's good, Roger. We can relax. Roscoe's just taking the pressure right off us this afternoon. We can say anything. I'll not beat that Twitter account that's going to blow up in front of Gordon.
I've taught him how to mute his notifications.
He's sitting there chuffing himself going, yeah, I'm sticking to it.
Motherwell fans not happy, feel St Mirren are being a bit overly physical, according to Fraser, so we'll keep an eye on that one, see if it intensifies before the end of the day. No other goals to tell you about yet. Are you surprised at the blank scoreboard in McDermott Park?
No, because David Friel's there. I would have thought you might have seen more from Kilmarnock coming back out, as you said. A couple of substitutions early in the second half. Derek McInnes clearly not happy with the response he's getting as they try and come back for that 1-0 deficit. No more scoring at Tynecastle either. You know, County seemed to rally at the start of the second half, but not strongly enough that they got a goal in the game. And as Fraser said at half time, the game of the day, Fir Park, the next goal, how important is that going to be, Gordon?
Well, the managers are not hanging around. If they think they've seen enough, they're acting, because Robbie Dees and Danny Armstrong have gone off for Kelly. David Watson and Liam Polworth on, and Daba's moved from midfield back to the left of a back three, so it's a proper reshuffle for Kilmarnock. Sidibe off and Griffith on for St Johnstone, because there's now a little bit of Aberdeen pressure there in Perth. So Simo Valakari just trying to respond and trying to make sure his side don't fall behind, or maybe even go on and take the lead themselves. That's a tight one there. Still goalless, St Johnstone, Aberdeen. Hearts 1, Ross County 0, Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2, and Kilmarnock 0, Hibs 1.
Aberdeen quietly getting back into a wee bit of form. I think the Scottish Cup runs definitely helped them. A good win, a good performance against Queen's Park last week. Daz, who would you fancy, Aberdeen or Hearts in that semi?
I would probably go with Hearts. I think Hearts are in good form. I know what you're saying about Aberdeen coming back a little bit. I just think Hearts have got big players that can win games for you.
I'd agree. Roscoe?
I'm torn, to be honest. I'm torn. I don't want to sit on the fence. I don't like doing that.
We heard you a minute ago.
Yeah. If I was going to
you
go
will
for
not be accused of that this afternoon, let me tell you.
If I was going to go for one, I'd probably go for Aberdeen, to be honest. Kevin Nisbet coming back into form is big for them. I like the boy Leighton Clarkson as well, but he doesn't seem to play a lot, does he, these days? Strange one, that.
There's another goal that's probably, well, more than probably wrapped that one up. Queen's Park 0, Falkirk 3, Calvin Miller with the goal. So another good day at the top for John McGlynn's side.
As we said before half time, this could be a really decisive day for Falkirk. And what makes it more impressive, what you forget is they were in League One last season, Gordon. They are the newly promoted side coming into this division. They look as if they're going to charge right through the Championship and get back into the top flight. And when you see some of the crowds, I've been there a couple of times recently for Super Scoreboard, full houses against Ayr, full house against Dunfermline. They would be, a decent addition.
Good, Roger. It's a long time since I've been there.
I'm not an enormous fan of plastic pitches. It is actually a very, very good surface. I think it, along with Airdrie, seem to be the sort of flagship surfaces, if you like, for the synthetic surfaces in the country. They're the best, and I think Falkirk are keen to find a solution that would allow them to keep the pitch long term in the top flight.
Tony Watt and Harry Payton are going to come on for Motherwell. Plange and Andrews go off. It was never going to hit the headlines the way Lennon Miller's did, for obvious reasons, but Kai Andrews is an interesting one, Roger. He's also only 18. He's on loan at Motherwell, and he was in the Wales squad this week. Craig Bellamy's
Craig Bellamy adding him in for the first time. I think he'd been impressed especially by his performance in that win at Ibrox. Tom Lawrence in the squad as well. Rabbi Matondo in the squad too. I think they've had a few injury problems, including Aaron Ramsey missing out. I think he did his hamstring for Cardiff in the middle of the week. So good luck to them all, especially a young lad. We talk about Lennon Miller and James Wilson, but for Kai Andrews at 18 to get his first shout for the Wales national team, well done to him.
Yeah, maybe not had the impact today. He's about to go off, replaced by Harry Payton. Tony Watt coming on as well. So many subs at this stage of the games. Kieran Bowie replaced by Dwight Gale for Hibs. Bonnie Rigorose have equalised. Brock Watson has scored there. Let's revisit your teaser, Roger. Try and nudge people in the right direction. Try and help them out.
Here we go, the second half teaser. Think about it all, because there's clues all the way through. I have played with Joe Cole and Marc-Antoine Fortuny. I've been managed by Jose Mourinho and Lee Johnson, and I made it into a European competition's team of the season. Who am I?
Henke Scales Moravchik thinks it might be Scott Sinclair.
No.
JB thinks Fabio Cardoso.
No.
Right, keep your guesses coming then. At Clyde SSB. Good chance actually for Griffith up at McDermott Park's a header wide. Good work from Duke. Should do better. So St Johnstone there with a bit of a sniff in that one, but still goalless. And we're waiting. We keep saying the next goal at Fir Park so important, but we need to wait and find out who gets it. Are you any closer to that teaser, Gordon DL?
Yeah, I'm sitting right next to him. No, I've not really put my mind to this one.
Not applied yourself.
You nearly dislocated your neck trying to get a look at the sheet.
I
there.
did there, but you're not like how bad that is. It's like sitting next to somebody in class that's got their
Homework.
homework. Roger is very careful not to show me anything there.
That's a tricky one. I'm not sure how I got it. I have to say. Did I spot yesterday? I had a game at Celtic Park tomorrow. Nico Raskan in a Belgium squad, Gordon?
Yes, it was yesterday. He was named in there. Barry Ferguson was asked about it, and it's his second call up, I think, but his first since he came to Rangers.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tom Lawrence. That's his first call up
in
since
4
he came
years.
to Rangers as well.
It is.
Raskin deserves it. He's been brilliant, I've got to say. I really do. Do you know what I think gave him a little bit more confidence when he was handed the armband for the skipper?
Maybe.
And he's just went on to that. I think he's performance wise, I think he's been one of the top players for Rangers.
Bang bang, Darren Lang has scored.
Come on.
Oh, get it on. Get it on. We need that.
Do you know what's incredible? For some reason it's not on my screen anymore. It used to just always stay there. I had a look before I even mentioned it, but I'm just going to have to go without, because the moment's passed. You know, I can't now find it and play it. I just waste it.
2-0 away to the league leaders.
Impactful.
Dick Campbell's his 5. That's a good result for Bang Bang Darren Lang.
What was the connection?
Mark Wilson.
Darren Lang teaches Mark Wilson's son. That's right.
Yeah.
There you go. He might be at a wedding as well.
Wilson's son?
Bang Bang Darren Lang.
All right.
Wilson's son.
McKenzie and Morris off, Clarkson and Ockles on. So Jimmy Tillini,
There's your man Roscoe
making changes as well. Because if things were to stay this way, what would that be? A 3-point gap opening up between Hibs and Aberdeen?
Yeah.
If it stays this way.
Yeah.
So,
and the momentum with Hibs, a fantastic league run. I think, you take out the cup defeat to Celtic and that 3-0 league defeat at Celtic Park. Don't think they've lost a game since the month of November when they lost up at Dens Park. It's a fantastic run for David Gray and Hibs, and he's rewarding the players. You touched on the goalkeeper Jordan Smith, Ross's former teammate at Forest, getting a new deal. Chris Cadden, your pal Gordon, new deal yesterday, keeps him there I think till summer of 2027. He's done well.
Yeah, the McFadden brothers, as Gordon DL accidentally called them on Beat the Pundit earlier this season.
The sore one for Nicky, that hamstring injury at Celtic Park last week, missing out. Jordan Obita, and I think that's it's something like Jordan Obita's first start in about 4 months, certainly because Nicky Cadden was being so influential in that left wing back role for Hibs.
Actually ended up being good news, didn't it, this week, saying that he's not out for any longer than a few weeks.
Yeah,
which is not ideal, but I think the fear was initially that it would have been longer.
Yeah, it might have been the season.
Right, I'm going to have a guess. You can verify I've not seen that. Can you verify I've not seen that answer?
Yeah, I can verify you've not seen
the
that.
The only thing is, see the way he's protesting before he's even given us his guess.
No, because
makes you think he knows he's got it.
I might be totally wrong.
Okay, so why are you protesting so much? Just write it down. Okay.
Well, there's who I'm going to go for.
No.
There we go. So
let's see. We'll give the wrong answer. We'll help Joe Hart. We'll help the listeners out there. Airdrie 2, Livingston 2. Danny Wilson has equalised. This could be almost season defining for Airdrie if Livy go on and score, maybe even for Livy as well, but if Livy go on and score now and take this victory away, what are the chances of Airdrie pulling it off, Roger? Unlikely.
This would have been huge. They saw Dunfermline lose the game in Kirkcaldy last night. They would have regarded this as a big opportunity to close the gap. They've led twice. Livy have pegged them back twice. It'll be a great last 25 minutes there.
I'm trying to think where Joe Hart would have played under Lee Johnson. Did he?
Don't think so.
No.
He's picking apart your answer here, Daz.
No, I was just thinking, because I can't get past the first part myself.
Yeah, obviously trying to make it as difficult as possible. You want to go, it's loan spells, isn't it? The first part of the question. It's important to think about loan spells, so it is really tough. It's very, very difficult.
Difficult question. Don't know who said these. They're good.
Roger, we're kidding on that you made that up.
No. I'm just a stand-in.
Does it every week?
I'm just a stand-in.
Right,
I'm a stooge.
So Hugh made it up.
Right.
Send it to you.
He really doesn't waste his week, does he?
Oh, he's on the ball. Makes it difficult.
Fabulous stuff.
Don't forget, of course. Don't forget. How could you? The big game tomorrow in Glasgow, lunchtime. Once we open these phone lines, I'm expecting all your pre-match thoughts. It'll be your last chance, really, to have your say. And do you know what? We need to make the most of it, because Thursday night Europe. It was all very busy. I feel like we've not even given this game on Sunday a proper build up on the phone, so let's do that between 5 and 6 tonight. How does Thursday impact things, if anything, Rangers fans? Will there be tiredness? Will you change the team tactically? Does Thursday give you sort of confidence and belief, or is it back to the simple situation that domestic football is very different? And what about you Celtic fans? You've had that free week. You've been building up to this, hoping, I'm sure, to go better than what happened the last time the sides met. Go at 19 points clear, closer to wrapping up the title very soon, making sure Rangers don't get above their station, I think as one caller put it last week. There's so much going into it. So 5 o'clock tonight, pick up the phone and we will get your thoughts. Jakoviti has been shown a yellow card. It was a challenge that involved Killen Boyd Munce was in there as well. Now he's flat out in the touch line. I think there's a stretcher on as well, so a little bit of a worrying time for St Mirren. So keep an eye, make sure everything is. Wish everyone well. There's a goal there in League 1 to tell you about. Alloa have pulled one back. Queen of the South 3, Alloa 2. Luke Rankin with the goal. Papagay's come on for Ode Dabag for Aberdeen. I know he's been injured, but safe to say he's struggled to hit his early season form. Yeah, I mean, he was flying out the tramps. He was a top scorer for months and months after he was injured, and he's just never quite regained that form. I'm not quite sure what his best position is, whether he's best right up top, whether he's more of a number 10 just to sort of, operate in behind and try and pick holes in defences, Gordon, but it's not quite worked for him. Dabag and Nisbet looked far more dangerous together, but nobody's looking dangerous at Perth this afternoon. Absolutely not. Still goalless there. Nothing doing at all for David Friel. We said it before. I don't know. Does a point suit St Johnstone? Is that just good? I think a point would. Yeah, I think it would. I think that would keep them firmly in there. We would fancy Dundee United at home tomorrow, maybe against Dundee. But when do you start counting the missed opportunities then? Because they played Dundee recently, didn't they? And drew the game. Yeah. I think you've still got to just keep yourself in the race. I really do, and they've managed to do that. Just keep putting a little bit of pressure, let Dundee and Kilmarnock look over their shoulders, and they're certainly doing that. Look, it's going to be a difficult game because a lot of people maybe fancied Aberdeen because coming back to form, Nisbet back in the Scotland squad, scoring goals. I think that'd be not a bad point. You can't have been involved in any relegation scraps down the road, were you?
Yeah, quite a few actually. Yeah, both
the amount of goals you scored. What, your teammates not pulling their weight or something?
I'm not going to throw them under the bus. No chance. It was a team effort. Yeah, probably my 2 seasons at Fulham. Actually, we were flirting with it pretty bad. Didn't realise that. I think we finished maybe in the end probably 16th or 17th or something. We were quite poor, to be honest.
There we go.
One of ours. That's what we were speaking about earlier. One of our main defenders has just got an England squad. Dan Burn.
So he was at Fulham at the time, was he?
To think where he was then to where he is now, it's unbelievable transformation.
You wouldn't stand next to him in a team photo.
6'8".
He's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah. Dad says he wants to sit next to Luke Armstrong in the Motherwell team photo, don't you?
He's a man, good worker.
Maybe missing him today.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he puts a shift in.
So Killen Boyd Munce on a stretcher. Looks like quite a serious one. It's having his kind of head and neck supported, so we hope he's okay. It goes without saying. He's stretchered off. Jakoviti also subbed, so Oisin Smith and Richard Taylor come on for St Mirren. An absolute doing now for Falkirk away to Queen's Park. Tom Lang getting in on the action. 72 minutes gone there. Still time for that to get worse. Sometimes, Roger, goes without saying, the kind of away days in the Championship can be where you trip up, but this Falkirk team and their total brand of football, they love going to Queen's Park. That's they battered them there early in the season, performance wise, didn't they?
Telly on a Friday night. I think they actually only won the game 1-0, didn't they?
Performance wise,
but it was a 4-0 almost in that game. 4-0. This is a statement win for Falkirk this afternoon. They will go probably 8 points clear of Livy, 9 clear of Ayr. And the only disappointing factor in the whole thing is we'll need to listen to producer John on Monday night droning on about them.
Do you think we should phone? Do you think if we phone Mark Wilson right now, he'd answer on the touchline for us, given what we mean to him and what we've done for him
100%
over the years?
Yeah, because Ayr don't look like they're coming back into his game, do they? So I'll be home and host.
Is the stopwatch on the phone?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's going for an old school PE teacher
He
stopwatch.
could have the old one, and then he's got the phone in the pocket. Where's a whistle around the neck?
Only in training.
Only
in training.
Okay. Let's try him.
You'll only recognise Mark now with the Partick Thistle tracksuit. He's never got off. Never. Even Saturday night he's out Mary Hill walking about there with his his Partick tracksuit on. He's doing great. Let's bum the boy up. Let's get him a job. Let's keep him there. He's doing brilliant. He deserves it. He's worked hard.
Has there been a director of football position mentioned if he got a job on a full-time basis?
I think they're going to sports director.
There is a vacancy
for sport director. I think they're interviewing.
Got a goal at Fir Park.
The longest successful points kick in international rugby history was 70 yards, 8.5 inches. That's nothing. The new Volkswagen ID7 Tourer has a range of up to 424 miles. That's 746,240 yards. It's got the distance. Volkswagen ID7 Tourer. Miles better. ID7 Tourer official test range 358 to 424 miles when fully charged depending on trim. May not reflect real-life driving.
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
And it is the equaliser. Motherwell 2, St Mirren 2. Callum Slattery with his second of the afternoon. As Roger Hanna spoke about earlier, he had over a year out, a really, really tough time. He's been finding his feet, getting in some good form recently, and he has scored a double, which means we have a blockbuster finish on our hands at Fir Park. It was Tony Watt challenged for a high ball, fell to Slattery 20 yards out, deflected into the corner, and the Motherwell fans certainly enjoyed it though. What a game we've got.
As we said earlier on, Fraser Wishart, game of the day there at Fir Park. I will give you an early prediction that Andy Halliday's player of the weekend on Monday night will be his teammate Callum Slattery. And it looks, with those two substitutions, with an injury setback for St Mirren, it looks as if Motherwell are carrying all the momentum into this last 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're a long way to go, because we know with substitutions, VAR, time added on, Motherwell now on the front foot. You wouldn't be surprised Motherwell went on and win this.
I don't think Motherwell St Mirren were ever going to win today. The fact that I tipped them to win, I think I've had every single one wrong.
No, still very much in the balance, that one.
This will be Michael Vimmer's got the second biggest rebuilding job in Motherwell after Daz's kitchen.
How is the kitchen still going?
Oh, brilliant, absolutely.
But not finished yet?
No, it's finished.
Is it?
Yeah. He's more than welcome to go and get a wee tea.
What are you moving on to next?
The bedroom and the bathroom, everything. The double B.
Full place, getting a full. So your house and your
everything
and your face getting a makeover.
Everything's new. I'm starting afresh. It's new dawn tomorrow. Well, no, that was
enough. Move on. No. Because that's a private joke that the listeners won't get, and it is funny to us. But that's no.
There's a goal for swiftly moving on. Ryan Porteous, Scotland defender, scoring for Preston 1-0 against Portsmouth.
Yep.
You'll be joining up with the squad tomorrow.
More crucially, Ryan, Airdrie 2, Livy 3, Stephen Kelly.
There you are, huge goal to keep Livy on Falkirk's coattails, 6 points behind, but a real bad blow for Airdrie, having led twice, now to trail. And I think Dunfermline and Michael Tidser will be heaving a mighty sigh of relief.
There's nothing worse when you get the big build up. So St Johnstone got a free kick, there was a big delay. The St Johnstone fans were buzzing with excitement, urging Graham Carey to take it after the goal he scored against Livy, and of course just puts it over the bar. It's not that simple, but what a strike it was. He'll always have that one to see them through to the semis.
I'll tell you something, it was one sliver of quality and a pretty miserable encounter on Monday night.
Someone produced something on social media through the week as well. It was like a split screen of two of his goals. One was obviously that one to put them through. I can't remember
St
who
Mirren Hearts, and it's identical.
Yeah.
Is it a bit further maybe the
I
first
think so,
one?
yes. So he's got a great left foot, hasn't he?
Good player.
I saw that as well. It was a very, very nice hit. Goal worthy of winning any game, as the cliche goes, but it feels like he has been around forever. Roger, 35. People here remember him going way back. That St Mirren spell was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
the first St Mirren spell he's been back.
Do you remember he was in Bulgaria, wasn't he, for a period of time as well? So he's moved about. He's a quality player, and I think Simo Valakari it's probably been using him correctly. He's been using him sparingly. He came off the bench to great effect on Monday night. And if St Johnstone are going to stay up, and I think it's still a big if, players like Graham Carey will need to be heavily involved.
Montrose 2, Cove Rangers 0. Craig Whiten with the goal. Bit of a worrying moment for Motherwell though. Liam Gordon's down and has been down for quite some time. So I wonder if firstly they're going to have to make a change, and then perhaps be concerned that it's something too serious.
You had many injuries at Motherwell this season?
Just a few.
Oh, a few.
Incredible. Especially this week. So that there must be a story there, because Michael Vimmer did his press conference on Thursday afternoon,
yeah.
And he said that Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, who had been out for ages, had trained and everything was hunky-dory, and then the next morning a tweet went out from Motherwell saying that he's broken his wrist and he's unavailable. So I don't know what he was up to on Thursday evening.
No idea.
Or if it just wasn't reported quite accurately or whatever. But yeah,
we'll find out. We've got a man on the inside. He'll tell us on Monday.
If he doesn't,
he's not. Listen, Stamatolopoulos hasn't had a lot of good fortune since he came out. 5 goals I think he's got so far for the club. He was looking good in flashes, and then the season's just fallen apart with the injuries. I don't think he'll be seen again till next season. It's a blow for Motherwell, because as you say, they don't often spend money on players.
Yeah, didn't he? What did he cost?
It was a few $100,000, I think.
Yeah, a lot of money for him.
What team in Australia did he come from?
I think it was Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle
Jets. You're struggling to remember if you came across him
I might
in
have
your time there. Well, listen, we've got previous for that on this show, because Gordon Dalziel can't remember being an actual teammate of Ange Postecoglou's. So.
Do you know who was at Central Coast Mariners? Actually, very good little player. He's now at Ross County.
Joshua
Nisbet.
Yeah.
Technically very good.
Very highly rated over there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think he won the league with Central Coast. Actually played really well in their Champions League equivalent over there.
You would tower over him.
Yeah, I think, what is he, 5'3"?
5'3", I think,
about Gordon's height then, is he not?
Yeah, exactly. He'd be the smallest player in the Premiership, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, all by a distance.
5'3".
5'3".
Joshua Nisbet.
Is it half?
I saw him the day at Ibrox when the team shook hands at the start, and he high-fived Broxy Bear, and he was about half the size of him.
Aberdeen are pushing now though. Keskinen's through. He's kind of crowded out. Kilmarnock do have the ball in the net. The offside flag goes up. Bruce Anderson thought he had scored. There's always that chance though. It gets a look. VAR is checking. Callum Brown thinks it looks miles off. Wasn't it great to see that even at the elite level they can still get themselves mired in VAR controversy during the week? That's not just us, with conclusive proof and all that sort of stuff. The Madrid derby.
Oh yes.
World football was getting itself in a right mess.
They're now going to change the rule as well.
See, we thought it was only us. We thought we had we could trademark the drama that we get here.
Listen, we almost did trademark the drama of this a couple of years ago. If you remember, Bojan Mijovski at St Mirren Park last season, double touch, last minute, got Aberdeen a point.
Goal counted.
Who's right and who's wrong, Gordon?
Let's
phone Willie.
On the rule, would you change that rule?
You know something, I probably would change the rule to allow a retake. I don't think if it's gone in the way it went in, I don't think he should get the goal, but I think he should have the opportunity to take it again, because if the goalie has a foul, if the goalie comes off his line, it's a retake. You know, it's not the goal's not given if the goalie comes off the line and saves it. So I think the attacking players should be given the same grace.
I'm a little bit against that.
Seriously?
Yeah, why not? It's a foul. I know you're going to go back to, well, they've changed it in golf, the double hit, but
no, listen, I don't think we can do what golf did. It's not that similar. I think the mindset
because you've made a mistake, you've slid and you've hit it with both. Then I'm sorry, that's your mistake.
No, but it's an accident, really, isn't it? I think that's the point. Would anybody do it deliberately?
No, but I just think that.
And as Roger says, then fine, if you want to make it's an offence, but why not just retake it?
Okay, I'll sit in the fence. I don't really. I'm not particularly.
You don't care, do you?
Because let's be honest,
I don't know.
There's nothing the matter with that. Don't you worry.
We've got one
you don't
proper,
need to have an opinion on everything.
We've got a proper penalty taker in here, Ross. If you slip, and that's quite more often than not when the double hit occurs, it's not really an advantage to you, is it? It's a disaster for you usually. You think it's going to be.
I'm with Roger. Yeah, I think it's a retake all day long, and especially at that level, going out the Champions League to something like that.
Do you think you would slip if you had Michael Moles' boots? No chance.
With his Pink Predators, no chance.
That's it. But you wouldn't have slipped in your heyday. You would have just stuck that away. Would you all for changing going?
I just think I don't even think that's a drastic change. Just a retake. That's
retake.
fine.
Look, I'm not bothered either way, to be honest with you.
Roger says, "What if you slip but only hit the ball once?"
Fraser
says, "Yeah, that's fine then, isn't it?"
Oh, see, Fraser's good.
No, but that's fine. No.
John Terry not slipping a Champions League final and screw it away off target.
So if you slip and hit it once, it's not a retake.
Did he not hit it twice as well, JT? Did they not?
Oh, possibly. And he missed.
Yeah.
I suppose what leaves a bad taste for fans is just a more general sense of where football's at. Where it's probably the right call, but everything's so forensic now, isn't it? You see proper double hits, if you like, where it's a major, a major deflection. This was you've had to zoom in a million times.
It wasn't. I think UEFA actually published an angle from behind the goal. That was the only really time I saw conclusive proof of what had actually happened. I thought my eyes were kind of deceiving me a bit, Gordon, but definitely did hit both feet. The right decision was taken, but I think the rule's wrong rather than the decision being wrong. It's unfortunate for Alvarez.
It's funny, you know what the lie of the land is with these rules. They only really get changed when it is a big example of it, wasn't it? Did they not say the Frank Lampard goal for England that clearly crossed the line? That was one of the big ones that sparked goal line technology.
Exactly.
Now,
Germany.
I didn't detect any willingness from IFAB to change the double hit rule when Bojan Miovski did it.
No,
against St Mirren.
I'll give you that.
When it happens in the big stage.
If it happens tomorrow to Arnie Engels or James Tavernier, I don't think it'll be changed.
Listen, that'll be off on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday if that happens tomorrow. Airdrie 3, Livingston 3.
What a
game of the day, I think. 6-goal thriller. Liam Mostravik with the equaliser for Airdrie.
And bang bang, he's done it again.
Has he?
He has, yeah. East 5-0, Stranraer 3.
He scores some amount of goals. Is it Troughton?
Alan
Troughton, sorry. Has he scored this afternoon?
Well, no, because East Fife are losing 3-0 to Stranraer.
Oh, sorry, I just seen that, sorry.
Great.
Didn't know it. I couldn't see over you.
We were talking about it. It's the same game.
When I'm out at the grounds from Kilmarnock to Dingwall, I only get a slight glimpse at this show. It's not until you're actually in the studio you realise what a slick operation it is.
It was when we got to the break.
Don't come in here and start your nonsense.
It was when we got to the break at half time and he goes, Jordan Henderson been in that England squad. We had a full conversation about it. Anyway, Arbroath 1, Dumbarton 1. Dumbarton fans are just limping on.
Michael Ruth, local lad, well done, Michael.
Yeah, Dumbarton fan, I think, isn't he? Just hoping that the future of the club is secure rather than really worrying about football at the moment. It's been a grim time. Arbroath 1 though, Dumbarton 1. Right.
I don't know about yous, but I am nowhere near.
Are you still off on the teaser?
I can't get anywhere near
the
it.
teaser. I've got it.
Should we round it up?
I've got it. It's in the bag.
Okay.
Right, hold on.
Don't look.
A couple of subs yet. Ayunga injured with a hamstring. Iduwu on. That could be a blow because that's Mandron as well, isn't it? Who's out for St Mirren. And Kilty on for Phillips. 82 minutes gone. Will we get a winner there? No, do you know what? See, for only 82 minutes for Park, I'm giving you a couple more on the teaser. Reminders of the question though, Roger.
The question in the second half teaser, Gordon. I have played with Joe Cole and Marc-Antoine Fortuny. I've been managed by Jose Mourinho and Lee Johnson, and I made it into a European competitions team of the season. Who am I?
Chris Mick thinks it's Victor Moses.
No.
Lisa thinks it's Billy Gilmore.
No.
Was that Marcus Kelly thinks Ricardo Carvalho.
No. But the Dazzler has got it.
Does he?
He does indeed.
I come in at the last minute.
I might have it.
Oh, because you've seen my paper, mate.
Well, don't say it. None of you. Just keep
where's
your mouth shut.
Where's the drama coming from, Gordon? Where's the we're here now, 16 minutes to 5. Is there a goal in Perth? Is there an equaliser for Kelly or Ross County?
For Park.
Is there going to be a winner somewhere?
Oh, there's a big goal down the Bournemouth Championship.
It's a big goal. Hamilton Accies 0, Morton 1. Cameron Key with the goal there. The Accies fans are not going to take that well, Roger.
They are not. Young homegrown Morton striker. He was thrown in late on by Dougie Imrie last week against Ayr, probably off the bench again today. And listen, everyone loves a homegrown youngster. Well done, Cammy.
I'll tell you what, it wouldn't have happened under a legend. Chris Hillcoat, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Gave me a free blind the other day there, Roger, for my kitchen.
Oh, of course he did.
Thank you, Chris, if you're listening.
Waited all day.
Oh, listen, boys.
Hey,
sunny days over there in Belsill, get your free blinds.
The curtains for him.
Other blind providers are available, but I will give you a phone if I need one for
there you go then,
bedroom.
See, it works.
Anyway, it was only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Morton beat the Ackies 2-0. Dougie Imrie up against his former team.
Does a good job, Dougie, doesn't he? You know,
like
the resources at his disposal there at Campbell, he really does a good job. I think the promotion playoffs, particularly with Thistle winning today, I think they'll just be beyond Morton, but there's certainly no way they're getting pulled down into a relegation fight.
Oh, I think we've got a red card at Fir Park. Toyosi Olusanya, 2 yellows, the second for a 50-50 challenge with Dan Casey. Fraser reckons not a lot in it, but he's gone, and of course the frustration is second yellow, not much you can really do about it once the decision has been made. So foreseeing out today is one thing, but then a suspension to follow when you're trying to go for top 6, and he is your main man. So
and Michael Mandron is injured. Jonah Ayunga has already gone off injured. Toyosi Olusanya now sent off. They might all miss the next game after the international break. Caelan Boyd Munce as well, taken off, looked a nasty injury earlier on. Given that they were 2-0 up early on, it's turning into an expensive afternoon for St Mirren.
Well, it's advantage Motherwell for the last 5 minutes or so. I don't know if is a striker getting sent off with 5 to go. Is that enough to...
Stephen Robinson will just put everybody behind the ball, make it very difficult for Motherwell. But you never know. There's still... It's only, 16:46. It's still a lot of time. Some of these games don't finish to 5 o'clock. So advantage Motherwell. Hopefully they can get that winner.
Sorry, St Mirren fans, of course, if you're listening to Gordon's bias. Montrose 2, Cove 1. Ryan Harrington pulling one back for Cove in League 1 late on. I think we will. Let's just do it now, Roger. In case we get any late drama, I'll give you the big setup.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I have played with Joe Cole and Marc-Antoine Fortuny. I have been managed by Jose Mourinho and Lee Johnson, and I made it into a European competition's team of the season. I am Ryan Kent.
Ryan Kent. It is an extremely tough question. I'm so impressed with how many of you got it right, as always. Really impressive stuff. Kyle was third, Ben Fulton was second, and Connor McNair is the winner of the second half teaser. Even Gordon Dale finally got it. Ross McCormack, you look stunned, you look shocked.
Nowhere near it, yes.
He looks warm. That's what he looks.
So he got in the team of the season when he was at Rangers for the Europa League. That was the most kind of recent clue, I think, out of them all, wasn't it? Played with, was it a Coventry loan spell, I think? Something like that with right. Joe Cole, managed by Mourinho at Fenerbahce, Johnson at Bristol.
There you go. My brain kept going back to Tammy Abraham for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, tricky one. Why. It was a tricky one, but lots of you got it right, so well done. We've got another goal. If we got late drama, where is it? Where's it going to be?
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's at Tynecastle.
2-0.
It is a second for Hearts. It's George Grant, ball in from Moussa Drami, slid in at the near post, and that will be that. Straightforward in the end, but I'm sure Hearts would have looked for a bit of an earlier goal to round things off. 89 minutes on the clock. Hearts 2, Ross County 0, George Grant with it.
We said it was going to be 2 crucial home games for Hearts and for their entire season. It started last weekend, the Friday night game against Dundee in a cup quarter final. They won 3-1. This was going to be huge. We said earlier on, Gordon, Ross County were only a point behind Hearts at kick-off time. Motherwell were above them in the top 6. This is a big win for Hearts if Neil Critchley's to take them into the top 6 as well as a Scottish Cup semi-final.
Yeah, well, it does. It takes Hearts, doesn't it, today? So it would move them on. Does move them on to 39 points. Motherwell would remain a point behind unless they can find a winner. And Fraser Wishart makes a good point when I was talking about the sending off and 5 minutes to go. He says 3 serious head knocks. You could be looking at 10 added.
That's what I'm saying. Nowadays we used to look at 4:45 or a couple of minutes added on. These games go on at 5 o'clock. Plenty of time for a winner at Fir Park.
I will personally phone Fraser Wishart's butler and tell him his return to the castle will be delayed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a late night. You could go. Do you leave a You got a key under the plant pot?
No, I'll tell you one worse than that. I've got a funny. I shouldn't say this. I think I've left my door open.
What are you? Do you just not?
Look, there's nothing to steal in there.
Other than the new kitchen.
Don't steal my new kitchen.
This is live. I can't do anything about this. I can't take that back that you've said that. He's got serious issues, this man.
Yeah.
Why have you just done that?
Somebody might have broke in and tidied up.
They might just be sitting on that lovely recliner sofa.
Yeah, if anybody's listening, do not go on my recliner.
For your own health and safety.
Not without a tetanus jab.
A crash helmet.
No, I can't believe you just said that.
I'll behave.
Late equaliser in the English Premier League. Everton 1, West Ham 1. Jake O'Brien with the goal there. But we're interested in the late drama here. Can we get any? Where will it be? And we do have some
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's an equaliser for Kilmarnock. How big could that be? Fraser Murray, formerly of Hibs, has scored. He's been in great form in recent weeks, hasn't he? And he's popped up with what could be a vital goal for Kilmarnock. Huge, really, really impressive end to the game for Killie. And Derek McInnes breathing a sigh of relief. He'd have wanted 3 points, but
yeah, but
take that and move on.
When you look at everything that's happening around about them, St Johnstone are getting a point, St Mirren are getting a point, Hearts are winning against Ross County. It was imperative that Killie took something from a home game, remember, this afternoon. Fraser Murray's been outstanding for them this season. He has been probably their most creative player. Big goal.
VAR is checking it, so headed down by Joe Wright to Murray, who volleyed in. VAR will take a look. I think we've got a new record. I think we've made history today.
What, 10 minutes, 11 minutes?
It's 9 minutes to 5.
Yeah.
Fraser Wishart, 14 minutes added on.
Oh my, 14 minutes.
Goal confirmed for Killie. 14 minutes added on.
We've
never had that, have we?
That's more than Fraser used to get in some of his club games.
Big goal.
There he is.
In the English Premier League.
Bang bang George Hurst.
Hello George Hurst, welcome to the Scotland squad tomorrow, hopefully.
90 plus 3, so he's seen the game out, he's fit, he's scored, he'll be in the squad tomorrow.
I mean, they've lost the game, but that's not interest to us. We're just interested in how George Hurst does. So Ipswich 2, Nottingham Forest 4. Let's see if Steve Clarke does make the call and get him in the squad tomorrow, now that the paperwork has been confirmed. So Hibs wanted a foul for Joe Wright when he got up for the header. Not enough contact in it, clear an obvious error and all that, and the goal stands. So Killie 1, Hibs 1, 14 minutes added on at Fir Park.
There will be a winner
at Fir Park.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, I hope it's for St Mirren, and I've got my 4 predictions correct for the first time ever.
Oh wow, come on Motherwell.
Hold on.
What are you waiting on, sorry?
A winner for St Mirren.
Oh right, well, no offence, but
yeah.
That's incredible. I feel like I can remember an 11, a couple of 11s. Don't think we've had a 14.
Yeah, there was an awful lot at Dundee United, Hibs a couple of weeks ago. Did Junior Hoyland not score in the 103rd minute? There would have been 11 added on, as you say, and then there was a couple added on top of the 11. So Fraser might not got away with just 14.
What European competition was it started? Or was it the World Cup, I think? Remember that tournament? You were getting like 9 minutes added on in the first half.
Was it just the most recent?
Yeah.
Was it?
Was that the most recent? Yeah, the most recent World Cup, I think, when it started. Fraser Wishart's nowhere near done, and now we've got a full-time whistle. That shows you how far behind he is. So it's done in the capital, Gabriel.
Yeah, Hearts 2, Ross County 0, Gordon. Elton Kabangu's first half strike and a late George Grant finish gave Neil Critchley's side a crucial 3 points in their bid for a top half finish. Kabangu got his 8th of the season halfway through the first 45. Great work by player of the match Benny Beningame in midfield, slipped it through to the striker who toe poked it through the keeper's legs. Hearts on top for the rest of the first half and plenty of tidy play, but nothing more to show for it. County tried to come flying out of the traps in the second period, but it was more of the same in the second half with the Jambos on top. Eventually gaps did begin to open for both teams as the players tired, and there was a feeling creeping in that one might not be enough. But then on came Musa Drama, made a big impact off the substitutes bench. He missed one at the far post first, then he had a huge chance in the 80th minute to wrap up 3 points in the centre of the box with a massive hand from Misa in the county goal denied him. You've got to have a look at that save if you can. Then in the 89th minute, Musa turned creator, crossing from the right for Grant to slide in. The Englishman shushing the crowd with his celebration. And with 3 games to go before the split, Gordon, it looks like a stretch for County to make the top half. They drop down to 9th. They're 4 points behind Hearts, who now occupy 6th place. It's where Critchley wants his side to be. They know their future's in their own hands, and they've of course also got the Scottish Cup semi-final to look forward to. All looking up here in Gorgie. Full time, Hearts 2, Ross County 0.
Good win for Hearts. They are top 6. They will be removed if Motherwell find a winner in that 14 minutes added on. But as things stand, Hearts sit there in 6th place. It's finished at McDermott Park. Not so much excitement there for David Friel.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gordon full time. St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0. I said we want to entertain, we didn't really get it. A point apiece, I'm not sure it really suits either team. St Johnstone pass up the chance to move level with Dundee in the relegation fight. Up the other end of the table, it looks like Aberdeen passed up the chance to claim a major boost in the battle for 3rd place, especially with Hibs drawn as things stand. Simo Valakari, St Johnstone had the best chances in the first half. Aberdeen definitely carried the bigger threat after the break, but I'm not sure either team did enough to win the game. Mackenzie Kirk had the best chance in the first half, played in with Jason Holt in 10 minutes. He looked certain to score. Great save from Dimitar Mitov to deny him. Kevin Nisbet had a couple of efforts in the first half. He worked hard after the break, but he was quiet in front of goal. Ode Dabag had a good chance early in the second half from a header. He flicked that wide. Matt Snoster's probably had an even better one. He got the end of an anti-Palaversa free kick, couldn't direct his header on target. Up the other end, Victor Griffith on a sub early in the second half. He headed wide, and Graham Carey also sent a free kick over the bar after a very big build-up after his goal against Livy earlier in the week. Aberdeen, all the pressure in the closing stages, but credit to St Johnstone. They were concentrated, they were focused, they defended really well, and they probably deserved a point. Full time, St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0.
Still 8 minutes to go at Fir Park. Let's go full time at Rugby Park though. Callum Brown.
Yeah, full time here at Rugby Park, and it's finished Kilmarnock 1, Hibernian 1. History repeats itself as Killie equalise in stoppage time to grab a point at the death here against Hibs. Hibs had the leads in the first half, a 25th minute Martin Boyle strike, but right at the death, Fraser Murray getting on the end of a Joe Wright header across goal. He volleyed home, and that could be a massive point for Kilmarnock. Nothing really between the teams barring that Boyle strike in the first half as we went in at the break. Hibs capitalising on a calamitous Killie corner, a classic defence to attack move. Matty Kennedy played the ball short to the edge of the box to Danny Armstrong. Looked like a good opening, but the ball was blocked. Dylan Levitt countered. He sprinted forward. The ball on a 3 versus 1 counter. Only Corey and Daba back for Kilmarnock, and Levitt slipping in Boyle, who finished beyond McCrory. Martin Boyle involved again in the second half. His strike saved by McCrory from the edge of the box. Bobby Wales had an opportunity at the start of the second half as well, but it was won at the death, as I said. Just 10 minutes to go actually. Bruce Anderson had the ball in the back of the net after a through ball from Ndaba, but the flag was up for offside, and after a VAR check, offside confirmed for that one. It was a lovely finish from Anderson, but you thought it maybe wasn't to be for Kilmarnock. Decisions not on their side. They'd made plenty of mistakes and had shot themselves in the foot, but as I say, the 92nd minute, Fraser Murray, his strike levelled it late on. A Polworth cross met at the back post by Joe Wright. He cushioned that header down, and Murray volleyed beyond Smith. Killie probably deserving of something in a game that there wasn't really an awful lot between the sides. It probably ends there. Top 6 hopes, but could be a massive points in their fight for survival. Hibs go 14 unbeaten, but this one will feel like a defeat.
Yeah, big end to that one, and we're still not done. Andy Halliday's come off. He's been replaced by Moses Abiye, who's now got still about 6 or 7 minutes to make an impact. That's us done with the rest of the games, isn't it? We've given you the other 3, and we've got an open line to get to as well. So let's give Fraser Wishart some time. 01419511025 on the phones. Phoners right now, what have you made of today's games, and what about tomorrow? Celtic fans, Rangers fans, who's confident, who's not, who should play, who shouldn't, what does it mean? Fans back, Barry Ferguson, Fenerbahce, no rest, 19 points potential. It is all there. So give us a call right now if you can. We'll get you on next, and the full-time whistle still to come from Fir Park.
Action as it happens. and your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
2 minutes past 5 and still 3 minutes to go at Fir Park. One of the longest periods of additional time we've ever experienced. 3 minutes still left. Motherwell are still making changes. Davor Zdrakovsky comes on for Callum Slattery. There's a chance for Alex Gogic as well for the 10 men. Got his head to a corner, sit in the 6-yard box, but doesn't come to anything, and it remains Motherwell 2, St Mirren 2. The phone lines are open though. 0141 951 1025. Give us a call. Whether you're reflecting on today, I suspect most of you will be looking ahead to tomorrow. A huge game in prospect in the East End of Glasgow. Good wins today for Hearts. Share of the spoils, St Johnstone, Aberdeen and Killie Hibs. As I said, still waiting on Motherwell. Down the divisions, he's doing it again. Gordon Dale, your old pal, Mark Wilson. Partick Thistle 2, Ayr United 0.
Yeah, great result for him. It's been a good week. Queen's Park, and then obviously topping that off against a good Ayr United team that's going for automatic promotion. So well done to him. Well done to Mark Wilson and Brian Graham and Partick Thistle. Good result.
Still be doing a lap of honour.
Oh, he'll be out there, yeah, clamping the fans and
blowing the whistle, punching the badge.
I've always been a Thistle fan.
All joking aside, you do wonder. That's 4 games unbeaten now. I think they've taken 8 points from a possible 12. They are cemented in that promotion playoff place. Is there going to be a mood among the Thistle board to give them the job on a permanent basis?
It's a good question. Partick Thistle fans, if you want to give us a call, you can do. I'm going to get to the phones very soon. We'll get the full-time whistle from Fir Park, so get all your thoughts in ahead of tomorrow. It's your last chance to get everything over to us, whether that's predictions, thoughts on who should play, your considerations on how confident or otherwise you are, what impact Thursday night has on Rangers, if any, what it means for Barry Ferguson, the fans being back. There are always so many stories attached to these games, even when, as we all know, there's not really the jeopardy there in terms of a title race or anything like that. We're in the last 30 seconds, we reckon, at Fir Park, so we'll keep an eye on any late drama, but it would have to be very late, and we'll head to Fraser Wishart in the next few seconds to get the full time picture. You wonder if going down to 10 men means that it suits St Mirren, or did they feel the game was theirs considering they had a 2-0 lead? It's not a result that really suits either of them, because it does allow both to be jumped by Hearts, who go into the top 6 this evening. So we'll get to the phones in just a second. Forgive me, forgive VAR, forgive head knocks. That's what's caused chaos with this schedule today. 5:05 and we're not done. Corner for St Mirren, last chance. Imagine the 10 men went and snatched it. Now that would be something at Fir Park. That would be high drama. I'm sure Stephen Robinson would absolutely love it. We always do say it's a minimum added on, isn't it? So although I said 30 seconds to go, they're clearly going to get time to take the corner. Declan John is going to swing it in. Wonder if the goalie's up. I was like,
no chance. 2-2.
I suppose.
Not a chance.
No. But if it's the very last kick, nah. Full time, here's Fraser.
It was the last kick. I'm not sure whether it's Saturday or Sunday now. Nearly 15 minutes stoppage time at the end of this game. It ended Motherwell 2, St Mirren 2. We did have long stoppages though within the second half, 3 for serious head knocks, and I hope that Caelan Boyd once in particular, and also Liam Gordon walked off, but Caelan Boyd once stretchered off with a serious head knock. We hope they are okay, but I think St Mirren will feel they should have all 3 points. They did have to play the end of the game with 10 men. They were 2 up, really deservedly well on top, but Motherwell got a quick goal back and an equaliser in the second half. 24 minutes was the opener. Lasagna got in behind the Motherwell defence. He did that time and time again throughout the game. He set up Boymans 20 yards. He struck his left foot shot quite well. It was a huge deflection. Balcom no chance. He dived to his right. The ball went into his left. 2-0 in 34 minutes. Motherwell defence didn't clear across. It bounced up nicely for Kieran Phillips. 16 yards out. Spectacular hitch kick. Brilliant strike. Low into the net of Balcom. Lifeline for Motherwell, who looked in real trouble at that point, came just about a minute later. Callum Slattery was first onto a loose ball 20 yards out. Really good controlled volley, struck it well with his laces low into the corner of the net. The second half, to be honest with you, was a non-event. Very scrappy, little action at either end. Really poor fare. Lasagna got in behind and fired over 3 minutes into the second half. Decent chance, boxed up nicely, should have done better. Motherwell struggled all game to create anything. Michael Vimmer brought on Tony Watt and Harry Payton, but in a worrying instant for St Mirren, Boyd Munce and Jakaviti in an aerial challenge with Tom Sparrow. Boyd Munce fell to the ground, really lifeless for quite some time, and after a long period of treatment, his head and neck supported, he was stretchered off. But the equaliser came 3 minutes later. Tony Watt did really well. He challenged for a high ball with Gogic. He did enough to make sure that Gogic couldn't get a clear header. The ball fell to Callum Slattery, again walking onto the ball 20 yards out. He struck his shot well, took a slight deflection, and that helped it bend into the bottom right hand corner of the net. But no flow to the game. See, there's substitutions. Another head injury. Olasanya and Gordon clashed in the box going for a cross. Motherwell defender was taken off, and then a real blow. 84 minutes. Olasanya, who'd been booked earlier with Liam Gordon, challenged for a bouncing ball with Ben Casey. It was a clash of heads. It really didn't look like much to me, but referee Grant Irvin, not his best day, and he just get booed off by both sets of supporters. He showed the St Mirren striker a second yellow card. 14 minutes stoppage time, made no difference, wasn't anything great in stoppage time except for Alex Gogic, who could have got the winner in the closing seconds. Declan John swung in the corner, Balcom missed it. Gogic got his head to the ball but couldn't direct it on target. So an expensive day all round for St Mirren. Not only did they throw away 2 points in their eyes, they've also lost a Junga and Boyne Munce to injury, and Olasanya, who will be suspended for at least one game from next week. Full time at Fir Park, Motherwell 2, St Mirren 2.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Audi. Book a test drive for the fully electric range today. Head online for details.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fitz-all Media is an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.